It's Off Exit 10, presented by Capital District Sport and Fitness.
That's it. That's the
and
signal.
We're live.
And we're live.
And we're
Listen, boys, I'm excited for tonight. Let's.
sure.
Can I reach across? Let's cheers, boys.
Here,
Cheers up. I got my solo cup, not looking official over here.
Balls in the middle.
I don't clink. I got
No,
the cup.
boys.
I got the paper cup, or plastic.
It's plastic.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure. For
No,
sure. Been looking
no,
forward
Matt
to it.
Pierce. This is great. This is
I'm
great.
trying to think
man.
how many years I've been here.
Longer than me.
6 or 7. Freshman year.
You've been since the beginning. I mean, so we opened in June of 2018, and we brought that first Dutchman team in the end of that month.
That's right. Yeah.
So 4 years. You've
I
been
mean,
here
that was the
4 years.
partnership, and then I was up here, and here I am, still here kicking.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
Well.
it speaks for what you guys do here. Obviously, I wouldn't come back if I thought that things weren't working out. But it's obviously this is a family over here. You guys did a lot for me.
No,
Sure.
no, it's great. It's great to have you on, man.
For sure.
It's great
Absolutely.
to have you on. No, I'm just happy none of us had to get in a fight this week. Right?
Well,
What were you fighting about?
Wait a minute. Well, Pierce might have had to wrestle some kids, but not a fight.
No, not a fight. No. Yeah, I get hit, kicked.
Yep. Do you ever have
but-
to restrain anybody?
So that's the liability issue of everything. There's certain ways you can do. We did a lot of professional development in terms of crisis management, behavior management, all that stuff. And obviously, parents are parents. And if a kid goes home saying, "Oh, Mr. Pierce grabbed me by my arm" or something like that, even sometimes you gotta be careful of it. Like, obviously, you don't want to let a fight happen. It's not like there's fights going on really in school, but even when it's towards me, like obviously I'm a special education teaching assistant 1-on-1, and we have. Especially, and this is obviously I think a pandemic thing. There's a lot of kids who are, showing upfront emotion about how they feel in terms of how we think about how we deal, with it as adults. It's like these kids have no idea what's going on, and now they're, especially with the grades that I'm at, like it's
Right.
first grade, and I see kindergarten, first grade, we've had a lot of physicality issues, emotional behavior, stuff like that, and I just put it in perspective of okay, pandemic fully blown hit. Kindergartners aren't going to kindergarten that year, so now they're my first graders this year. They didn't go to school, and it was Zoom. Imagine teaching a 5-year-old again through a computer screen.
No.
Just the lack of development. Like
Yeah.
all these kids are stunted.
Social development is like the
Yeah.
biggest
Beginning
thing.
of this year, it's just home structure to now structure of school, which they never had. Like either preschool, they're going to kindergarten, or they just weren't in school because of the pandemic. And if you saw their faces when they first walked in, it was,
Yeah.
what is this?
Yeah,
Like
what is this
I only
place?
know my home, and
Right.
there's a lot of upfront emotions and behavior that I'm sure occurs at home, and it's a tough balance between making sure that obviously it's for kids too, it's their escape through a lot of things, and
Right.
how the balance. I have a hard time of how to discipline and get them on the right track in terms of what's right, what's versus what's wrong, but at the same time, like not disciplining where their escape is where they're getting in trouble. It's
Yeah.
like they show up to school every day, they get yelled at because they're not doing it in the structure of school system and stuff, and it's like they're already going through a lot. So it's like a lot of things. We keep things very consistent in school.
Yep.
So they leave school. A lot of external things happen out of our control, out of their control, and they bring it in school, and that's why every day is different because things, like I said, things remain consistent in our routine. That's a big thing that I preach is consistency, even with like I said, special education 101. Consistency and routine is key. If something goes out of ordinary, whether it's a substitute teacher or it's maybe I don't check up on a behavioral schedule that we have or something like that. If I don't do that, it's like immediately you can tell that things are.
Do all your kids have IEPs?
So I'm in a very inclusive classroom. It's not all my kids, but there's whether it's IEPs or ENL or anything like that. I say probably more than 5 to 6, maybe 7, 8 kids that are in my class that. And I'm not the lead teacher, obviously I'm the assistant, but we have a great team over there, and that's what I'm pursuing. Not necessarily, like I said, first grade. My target area is 4th and 5th, and more independent and stuff. But
Do you still want to be in the special education 4th and 5th?
This was actually brand new to me this year. This was just like what obviously I was placed. Like they told me August, this is what your job placement is this year. This is what your assignment is, and it was new to me. I wasn't. I mean, I did field experience throughout undergrad. That was in a self-contained classroom or anything like that. But, and that was a great experience. It was a month of, going in every day and getting those hours in and experiencing that. And, this was not totally new in that sense, but in terms of being one-on-one, and this is my student for the year, and trying to understand who he is and what makes him triggered and what what helps him and all that stuff. It was like a month process of feeling that out, but now it's like he's a great kid. You obviously he's got things going on, but great kid, and I know him very well. It's almost as if he's my own kid now. Like, I know exactly when something's gonna happen. Try to stop it, this and that, or just try to prep him, or
Well, you're with that kid all day.
Absolutely.
Like, we're so used to being with kids in here, and then yesterday I worked this charity event with a group of kids. And I was like, oh, I got this. Like, I don't need too much prep. I'm gonna show up, I'm gonna rock and roll, and it's good. And they're all like 1st to 3rd graders, so we don't see that in here. So I brought them out to a basketball court. I lined them up. And they wanted me to just like talk to the kids about exercise and health and fitness. It's like I started to do that in the classroom. I saw all the kids just like grabbing on each other and running around. I was like, oh, plan B. I was like, let's go outside.
Let's go outside.
Like, yes, outside.
Start beating the shit out of each other. It's like, oh, shit.
And then I lost them right when I did that. 'Cause they got so charged up. And I was like, oh, fuck, that was the wrong route to take. So I was like corralling these kids for 20 minutes. Then finally got them going. But like...
Yeah,
and
I'm in a master's program right now, and that's a big thing is just engagement and keeping their attention and making sure they don't get off that track. Like, those ages are tough. I'll be the first person to tell you that it's tough because they're 5, 6, 7 years old. Right. They don't have the best attention spans no matter what's going on. Yeah. So it's they're kids at the end of the day, but having to structure that's definitely a ongoing process, and I'm learning every day. Obviously, that's the reason why I'm in that program. But
is that what you went into? So flashback, like your undergrad. Is that what you were undergrad education?
So I was actually I majored in history and I minored in education.
Okay.
My original goal was be middle school history teacher. I coach obviously a 15-year-old team right now. They start off as 13, but I just felt that I work very well with that age. I know it's a very awkward and some of them could be shitheads and stuff like that. I remember when I was 13 and everything like that, but it's such I'm big in development in terms of just especially those years. It's like either I can, like I said, in 5th grade before they get to middle school would be my target area, or when they first get to middle school, where it's very formative years, very developing, them developing themselves, learning who they are, all those hormones that are going around, everything like that. It's tough, but
it's tough, but
it's down the road. I'm not too worried about it.
But you can make a big impact.
Absolutely. I think it's a very...
It can almost be like that make or break time period for a lot of those kids.
But those are weird years. I would not want to go back to those years, man.
Well, we always joke about the school dances and stuff like that. I don't know if you can pay me to chaperone.
Yeah,
I'm just remember my school dances.
Are they still a thing?
I don't know. I don't hear much about them.
I don't either.
Know.
Like, imagine chaperoning. I'm just thinking back to our teachers who had to chaperone these dances, like a bunch of hammered 17-year-olds like rubbing on each other,
or just the total opposites, just like 100 yards this way, like girls and then boys over here just like looking at each other for like the first 20, 30 minutes. That's how I remember it. But then the music started, and then everyone had their little clicky stuff going on. And,
of course.
But that's middle school.
God, what a fucking nightmare.
Long time ago. Crazy.
I know what's it called, that chat, Queen of Hearts, right? That was the dance? Yeah, that still goes on. I know that. At least it did when my niece was in 8th grade, because like she went to it and all that, but...
Like
I couldn't even imagine having a chaperone.
Miserable. I was miserable at most social things growing up because I was just so anxious. But like I kind of sludged my way through like I don't know how many dances, never danced, just like felt so awkward. Dances. I didn't drink in high school, so then I felt awkward on that front too. All the way to my last ever dance was prom my junior year. Yeah, because Sam was a year older than me, so I didn't go senior year. And they give like the court or whatever it's called.
Yep.
It's a fucking stupid popularity contest.
Hate this shit.
And they're like, okay, we're gonna call up the court, and they're like in 5th runner-up, and I'm just like, fuck, waste your time with a 5th runner-up. They're like,
sit down.
They're like, Mike,
sit down.
They're like,
no
Mike,
one cares.
They're like Mike Cerrani, and I'm like, it's fucking me.
Walking up there, I'm 5th place. Can't wait. Where's my participation
that's
trophy?
6th place. It's not even 5th place.
It's 6th runner-up.
Yeah,
and I got to dance with the girl who's 5th runner-up, just like in front of everybody.
Sick.
Get me out of there.
Was that one of your biggest fears? Was that or weddings or something like that? Or?
Yeah, I'm like I can get in my pocket in weddings now. By like pocket, I mean like sitting at the table. Yeah, by
dancing
myself.
for 1 minute of a song.
Oh yeah.
But no, that was my accumulation of like just fucking sludging along through dances to be 5th runner-up and dance in front of everybody. Fifth runner-up.
Everyone clap. But yeah, I remember busting out my mom's door when we were dropping off in front of school. It's school dance. It's like...
You were into it? Be honest.
For the most part, yeah. It's like an event. It's like, oh, boys, like, all right, we're going to school dance tonight. It's like, okay. Out the door, like, make sure you don't forget. I'm like, shut up, Mom. I got to go. Everyone's booking it. And then you get there, and then you just get stage fright. And you're like, all right, maybe I wasn't ready for this. And you stand in the corner for like 10 minutes. You're like, I was really excited, and I'm really scared. Mom, please come pick me up.
You're like...
A girl looked at me, and I don't know what to do.
But you're thinking all week, like, oh, this girl's going to be here. I'm going to talk to these girls. And you get there, and it's just like...
Then the slow songs come on and just fully out, just like this, hip to hip, just like, oh my God, I'm touching shoulders. But yeah, I guess those were the days, huh? The prime.
That's fantastic.
It's awkward, man. You're just trying to, like, figure yourself out. Like, I see kids in here, I'm like, you know nothing about the fucking world.
Yeah.
But they act like they do. They're
Yes.
just like, I know everything. Whatever you say, I'm gonna spit on it because I just don't care.
Or they just
like,
have a rebuttal for everything.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait a minute. I didn't think there could be a rebuttal for
Dude,
that.
I'm 24. I'm grown. All right, listen to me. But yeah, that's why it's so important. Like you said, I think it's a very make or break years sometimes. It's like if they get the wrong idea on some things or maybe a wrong perspective in life, and obviously no one has all the answers, this and that. But if you could kind of guide them and structure them in the right way, it's like kind of gives them foundation to obviously do it themselves with high school and stuff like that. But
I think, too, just to be able to get where they're at in life, because some adults don't, whether they're older than us. Like, we're in an interesting spot where we're like, what are you, 24? And we're low 30s. So it's like, you can still relate. Like, there will be a day when we can't, when all these kids are in the fucking metaverse and we're sitting in the gym by ourselves. Like,
what the fuck is going on?
Like, where's everybody? They're home with the
fingers
fucking...
are jacked. Just that's all they're doing. But yeah, that's a big thing that I look at, even on the baseball side of things. Like, and I know I'm a little biased. I was a little older and stuff like that, and I was bigger, always taller. But these kids are just so underdeveloped. I feel like both maturity and like physical and stuff like that. And not obviously, I know there's a lot of things that go into that, and like I said, I'm biased towards it. But I think a big part of it is I think people forget what it's like to go outside and play. Like, and people don't associate that with physical exercise. Like, you're going out there, you're growing, you're burning cows, but you don't view it because you're just playing tag and you're trying to murder each other. It's just like you don't understand that part of it. But now all kids are doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
they talk about TikToks. Like, I got 6-year-olds talking about TikTok, and that's a problem.
Yeah,
it's a problem. One, I didn't have a phone till I was what? 5th, 6th grade, and I was like for a very important like.
What were you, Paul?
8th grade.
Yeah, I was 8th grade
7th
with like
7th or 8th was when I got a phone.
With like a Samsung, like I don't think it was a flip. It was just a rectangle, a Nokia.
I can tell you what mine was. Mine was the gray for like Verizon flip phone, right? That had like the green, like it wasn't like the screens weren't colored. Like we didn't have like colored screen. It was like one of those like green screens. Like that's what it was. And like and then you had to use fucking T9 to type everything out.
Do you know about T9?
Oh, I know about
Okay.
T9. I totally forgot, but yeah, just like
Dude, I was a machine.
Yeah, just machine. Oh, we doing that? I'm sending a text.
I would love to have a day in the gym where the kids come in, you go put your phones in this basket, you give them like an old fucking. What I have like a chocolate. I had a chocolate.
MV like 2 or something.
And you're just like, okay, just go text all your friends.
What was the one flip phone everybody had? Everybody had that you could change like the face on it. Like it was like it was like the upgrade from the original one.
I had to reach that side.
Dude, it was everybody had it. It was like before the chocolate came out. Like everybody had this phone, and I was like, that's what we need to bring in. Like the flip phone that just doesn't even have like a keyboard that you slide up or anything. It's just that's it.
Pierce, you're the last generation without the iPhone as being just the only phone. Yeah? I mean, like,
safe to say.
What was your first phone? But wasn't an iPhone.
No, it wasn't an iPhone.
That's what's nuts.
Was the iPhone even out when you? Well, 5th grade.
I gotta reach, but I think maybe the iPhone, like original iPhone, maybe it was just
07, right?
Yeah, I was.
I want to say.
I just remember having the iPod shuffle, and I mean, you couldn't see what song was coming next. You skip a song, and it's just you accidentally have it on shuffle. I'm just like ripping through it, trying to like get to the next one, get to the next one.
35 songs on the whole fucking thing,
and then you accidentally miss it again. You're like, shit. I remember that, and you could clip it on like whatever. But
that whole progression is crazy. I mean, you got anything.
Yes, 2007 was the first iPhone.
I wonder what we're gonna have when we're 50, 60 years old. I'm not going to go as far as saying flying cars and all that stuff, but I mean, it's not like it's far-fetched. Like, do you think we have iPhones like this at the tip of our hands? What's that?
What are you saying, Sam?
There'll be a chip in your ear.
Chip in my
In your ear?
Or like somewhere.
I mean, I think the next progression from the iPhone is going to be the glasses. where you can have like glasses
Dangerous.
on and you can see whatever you want in your phone in your glasses.
Well, they already have like the
What you
the
staring
speakers.
at? I swear I'm on my phone.
Yeah, like I think that's going to be the
'Cause
next thing.
They already got the Bluetooth like speakers and glasses that you can get. Because I go on like Amazon, it's like one of the first
I
things
think
that
you're gonna
pops
have.
up.
You can see your text in your glasses. You could record from your glasses.
That's gonna be dangerous though. Because what if you're driving?
I mean, we're driving now with a cell phone.
Yeah, well
That's more dangerous. I don't know how you police that.
You can't. Yeah, but I'm saying there has to be something because like if you're driving, right, and you're
Yeah, I don't wanna-
you're a safe driver,
Right.
not me and Mike. And you're driving, and then all of a sudden you got your phone sitting over there because you're not going to pay attention to it. But then a text pops up and flashes on your eyes, and you're like, as you're driving, what are you going to do?
I don't know.
But
Blink for ignore. Wink for ignore.
I mean,
Calls
they do,
coming
they
in,
do have
wink
this-
on the right for accept.
the do not disturb stuff, but
Even just that though, like the driving part, like there's autopilot now. You got cars driving themselves.
right,
I'll
Will?
never trust that shit.
well,
I don't care.
I'm not getting a Tesla.
I don't even. But even if we get to the point 30 years from now, like people can take naps during their 3-hour drive. I am never trusting that.
Well, it's gonna be like Sam and I watched. I never read the book, but we watched. Did you ever see Ready Player One?
Yes, I have.
I watched
I
that.
think it's pretty
I
fair
never
movie.
knew what it was, and we watched it on like HBO last month, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is what the world
Metaverse?
is gonna be." You're just gonna.
I hope not.
You're just gonna. I
fucked.
hope not too, but you're just
We're
gonna.
fucked.
You're gonna click in. You're gonna have your avatar. You're gonna put your Oculus on.
Run
and
on the treadmill in that movie. Like,
Yeah,
Real.
you're gonna have real. You're gonna have real estate, and you're gonna have.
I'm gonna be living in the woods.
Your fucking
You'd be a sick fuck.
Bitcoin, and you're gonna have your virtual friends, and you're gonna.
Yeah, I'll be in the woods
Scary.
killing grizzlies with my bare hands at that point.
Yeah, it's not for me, but
Not for me.
but ask,
you have fun doing that there, lumberjack.
but ask how many kids on your team have the Oculus, and how many hours a week they play. Maybe your team's not a good example because they're more like committed to sports, but all these kids are right there.
Oh yeah,
That's what they
they're
know.
not far behind. If
The
they're not,
6-year-olds
they're
on-
not here that or there yet.
If they're on TikTok at 6 years old, what
it's
they need to be at like at
scary, I'm telling
16
you.
years old.
And I'm like, I get them younger and stuff like, but I'm not even like the technology like that scares me that they have. It's just accessibility,
Right.
Like we see what we see on TikTok, and obviously that's not what 6-year-olds should be seeing.
No.
Like for
Truth.
3/4 of it.
I really-
and that's just easy for them to just
Right.
laugh, not understand it. But they're so visual and they absorb it. Whether you think they are or not, they absorb every
Well,
second.
I'll
of it.
talk to Sam. She's like, I'm on TikTok and I'm looking at like how to do this or how to do that or I'm learning this, and I go
Boom,
on
ass cheeks.
and it's just like ass cheeks and girls all the time, and that's probably me putting it in the algorithm.
For you, Paige, thank you. But, yeah, no, seriously, like that's what.
But that's what
we're looking at is what they're looking
Right.
at.
Right.
I mean, if a 6-year-old was scrolling through TikTok and popped up and Andrew Schultz showed up, like I'd be concerned that they were listening to what he had to say.
We were never exposed to that
You
shit.
know?
Right.
Ever. It was
No.
not at least like you have to go. It was more of an effort to find that stuff. Now
Yes.
it's just so accessible.
Yeah.
and it's-
Well, okay. So you're a little younger than us. So then you grew up from the transition of unorganized stuff being the move. You're playing in the yard with your friends, and that's
wiffle
normal.
ball,
Wiffle
just
ball,
sweating,
football, just make
Mom, give me my
damn
freeze pops.
yeah,
You did-
making up games.
You did
Yeah,
a triple
literally.
header. You'd go. I'm going to play a 9-inning game of wiffle ball. I'm going to play 3 hours of pickup basketball on the street, and then I'm going to go play tackle football with my
The
buddies.
manhunt at night around the
Yeah,
neighborhood.
yeah.
And I get it. Like times are different. People have things to worry about. People are obviously. I just think obviously not like any people weren't any crazy or anything or any less crazy back in the day. It was just like, kids. Parents probably have a tough time saying to go outside and go play around the whole neighborhood. Like
Yeah,
it's
you,
just like
you have that safety reason, right? And there's obviously more fears for what's out there in the world in terms of just bad people. But did you start to see? Well, looking back, you probably don't realize it when you're there. But as you grow up and you're going from elementary, middle school, high school, do you start to see the shift towards the pressures of doing organized sports to get you to Siena, or no? Did you miss that wave?
I think I was right in between. And I just related to like travel baseball, most importantly, like, don't get me wrong, school baseball, definitely puts you out there, especially in the district and stuff like that, especially with local schools and everything like that. But travel, it's like, compared to, obviously I coach travel baseball right now in the 15, and we, go to a bunch of tournaments. It's like, that's very tournament heavy in the summer, where Not that it wasn't, tournament heavy and stuff like that for exposure purposes and things like that, but it's probably like 1 or 2 tournaments.
Right.
Like
But
a big tournament here, you knew some college coaches would be there. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you still get there to play the game and you're not really focused on that part of it. But,
Yeah.
Now it's like, this is a perfect game league, like
Right. And that's
tournament style, like pay to get in, like this
That's
and
what
stuff.
you're
Like,
coaching in, correct?
That's what I'm coaching in right now.
See, so I like your perspective because we talk a lot about just, the youth athletic model when we're in here, and I know we've discussed it before, but then you're coaching on this elite end, and I know your kids are higher level.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where do you see it? Like, there's kids that are probably in that model that shouldn't be,
Mm-hmm.
right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, for the most.
I'm not saying on your team, but
Yeah,
I'm
in the
saying
grand scheme of
I'm
things,
saying part
there's-
of this traveling the country for what?
Spending thousands of dollars
For what?
For like,
for nothing. I mean, yeah, I guess for nothing. Not for. I mean, it's
You get the
exposure.
experience.
It gives you prep for if you really are serious about it. Maybe you don't have the skills. Maybe whatever. But if you are serious about it, you understand the process of how these
Right.
things go. You have
Okay.
PBR and this, big events of showcases. Like it doesn't even have to be like a game specific. It's like you're coming here to showcase your, and which I did a couple throughout. High school and stuff. Like PBR was just kind of getting their feet
Right.
underneath them and stuff. And I went to one, but. Even that stuff, it's like I get it. Don't get me wrong, I get it. Like there's gonna be college coaches. Everyone gets hyped up. They're like, oh, I got scouts. They got the radar guns and stuff like that. But it doesn't matter. I'm a big believer in this. It doesn't matter where you play. It doesn't matter if you're good enough.
they'll find you.
I mean, I'll relate it to shout out to my roommate freshman year. His graduating class in high school. He's in Lake Winnipesaukee, very small lake town in New Hampshire, and his graduating class was like 31. And that's
smaller than Chatham.
Small as you
K
can
through
get.
12,
Yeah.
K through 12, and he played Division I sports, and he got seen, and it's like he didn't go to too many of these things. Like it's just like it goes back to the fact that you could play in the middle of nowhere, all right. And if you're throwing 88, 89, 90 as a young kid or a high schooler and stuff like that, you will get seen.
Right.
Whether it's a showcase, whether it's a game,
Yeah.
just a local game where you're mowing down people that
Right.
are just shitting their pants when they go up to bat.
Yeah.
It's like we have a guy in our system right now for All Stars, and he just topped out at 97 playing some dog shit team. And it's
97 is cheddar. 97 he plays.
97 is absolute cheddar.
97, and he's a senior in high school, and it's like, and don't get me wrong, he's very accelerated for his age and stuff like that. And I obviously, speaking about it, like I'm really close with him. I don't coach him. I don't really know him that well, but it's like,
Still.
you got kids going up there who are just, you
I'd
got kids
shit my
who play
pants.
high school baseball just to play baseball. That's their final year. Like
Right.
they love the game, they love the sport, but they have no interest in moving on from that. Like,
Right.
and it's like,
97.
here comes little damn Johnny up to the plate, and he's blinking. He's like, it's in the catcher's glove. It's like, and he's swinging a sword up there. It's
Yeah.
like it's
Right.
demoralizing.
Well, and
Demoralizing.
that's what I was gonna say too. Is like when we brought up like, is it worth it for kids and parents to be spending that money to take a kid to a tournament that maybe isn't at the point that he should be to go to that tournament? Wouldn't it make more sense for them to spend money on something that's gonna work on like individual skills, strength training, and like spread that money out through other things, so that way by the next year they're more developed to be able to spend that money on a tournament? Because I just saw yesterday, like somebody I'm friends with, and they posted, and it was like, my daughter came to me and asked me for a pair of new basketball shoes, but basically he explained to her, I just spent $800-900 on a hotel room and traveling for this tournament and for the tournament, and I'm like, she may be really good, but like the fact that a parent has to spend $800-900 and say no to a pair of sneakers because they had to spend that much money on a tournament, like that's the thing that blows my mind. Is like, you have to say no to a new pair of sneakers that's gonna benefit her probably because she may have outgrown her sneakers. Like, you got to say no, and because you just spent almost $1,000. And how many tournaments are you doing? You do 2 tournaments a month. That's $2,000 a month just on tournaments.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like,
but
it's
there's
a lot of money.
But there's a lot of honest conversation that has to be had
Yeah.
to figure out, right,
It's a
between the
big part. There's
coaches
so
and
many
the parents.
variables of it. Parents' ego. See it all the time.
Like you need to be able to have. See, I'm lucky. I would never do what you're doing and coach a travel team because you're just dealing with more of the parent ego. You're dealing with playing time. And listen, if you're better than that kid, the kid that's better is going to play. Like that's just how it is. But the parents aren't going to see it like that.
Right.
And here, I'm lucky because I'm going to treat everybody equally. I
Yeah.
don't give a shit if you're the best kid on the team or you're fighting for a spot or you're trying to
You're
make
here
the
to get
team.
better.
You're here to get better. But I think it's just you have to have that honest conversation. And I don't even know if that's possible to get to there with
Right.
some people.
The parent can't be honest with what their viewpoint is in terms of it's a balance. Like, how do you tell your kid that, hey, I don't think you're ready for this yet,
Yeah,
or you're just
right.
not capable, you don't have the skill set.
Right.
But how do you, like, structure it to where it's like, here, like, understand that I will pay this money to get you in this training and stuff like that.
Right.
But obviously, if the kid's so sold on, I want to be with my friends and I want to go
That's
play
the
on the
tough thing.
team, it's like there's variable of that, like a parent's ego, thinking their kid's better than they are, and then putting that in their mind, and then that's all the kid thinks about. And maybe they don't try as much, whatever. And then they have, like I said, maybe the kid's fixed on it. They're like, I want to be a part of this team. I want to be with my
Right.
friends. This is my friend
But
group.
isn't
This
that
is all we
different?
know.
I'd rather have it be kid-driven.
Absolutely, and I think it's the other way around.
Well,
I
and
think
it
it's
is.
very parent
I
driven.
think it's parent driven. I also think it's coach driven. Like, I think it's driven by coaches that want to make money, right?
Tell me your thought on this. I had a conversation today with a girl about this. This shouldn't, you can't stop it, but I know high school coaches now who also coach on
Travel.
a private travel like you. And how do you not bring bias into your high school team when you have kids paying you money during the off season?
That may not even be as good as like the kids that are coming out that don't play, but they're willing to look past that because this kid came out and played for my summer team or my fall team and paid this money. So I'm going to put
Or paid me for private lessons.
Yeah, that's a
fuck?
very direct,
Because,
like one-on-one, like
Yeah.
I'm paying you private lessons.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm looking you in the eyes. And
Yeah.
This isn't the team aspect. This is I'm taking.
And now,
actually, yeah, toss me
you
a
going to
little
cut that person who gave you $3,000 over the winter?
Well, and that's the thing I was going to say before when you were bringing up the parents' ego. There's also, I think, the other side of it with parents. I think it's parents being, I want to say, like, naive. Like, to the fact
To
that
what?
they don't know. It's like kids don't understand that they don't need to do all these tournaments. Like, parents may not understand that their kids don't need to do all those tournaments. And, like we talk about kids feeling like they're going to feel like they're behind because they're not going to these tournaments. What about the parents that maybe feel like it's not an ego thing, it's that they don't want their kid to fall behind, and they think, well, Johnny's doing all these travel tournaments and he's really great, and I don't want my kid to fall behind him because I know how much my kid wants to do this and be good at it. Like, I think there is a dynamic of that where parents are just naive to the fact that, like, other things are going to be better for that kid because maybe they don't understand the health and fitness side of it, the strength training side of it, or the skill development side of it. They just see what all the other kids are doing and what all the other parents are doing. And I think that's where sometimes, there's definitely the parent's ego. And I think it's parent's ego, coach ego, but then there's also, like, parents being, like, naive to the fact that, like, they don't understand there's other options that will help their kid get better. That isn't the sport itself.
Yeah, I mean, you also have parents who never played.
Right.
That's a big part.
And that's what I mean. Is like
a big part
a parent
for me.
that has no idea, never played sports in their life, but their kid loves sports, and they're like, well, my kid loves playing, so I want to get them involved in every single thing that they want to do.
Right.
It's like sometimes saying no and getting them involved in something else that is going to benefit them is good.
And that's not even a thing. Like, even when I say, "Oh, parents never play," and I go, "Oh, that's a big one for me," it's like it's not that they don't know the game or they aren't intelligent in that way, but there's still like
it's a development.
You
part.
never played and went through this process of like, even just like through a coach like telling you, "Hey, you didn't make the cut, or you have to work harder at this," or like we'd always have end of the year reports and stuff of what we had to do, and it's like, they didn't have that stuff.
Yeah.
They didn't go through that. They didn't play. They didn't,
I mean,
do those hours of practice,
Yep.
training, right? They can try to do all the research that they can, but experience is still something that is kind of hard to teach in that way.
Well, and not to throw my dad under the bus or anything, but there were times when I coached Little League with my dad, with my brothers, and there were times where like my dad would say something, and I would have to because he was technically the head coach, and then I'd have to talk to him afterwards, and I'd be like, that was stupid. Like,
Dude, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Dad,
I'm
what
like,
the fuck?
I'm like, I get it. Like, you've done a lot of, like, because my dad did a ton of, like, research on coaching and developing kids at a young age. And he did a really good job of, like, not overdoing it, like, overthrowing. And, like, he had kids doing band work, like, before games. And I'm like, what?
It's a bad day to be screwball. Sorry.
It is a bad day to be screwball.
Did you just take some screwballs, Sam?
No.
it's for JV.
But how many Little League coaches that the kids were probably 8 years old have their kids doing like band work? You know, like my dad did that, but like, and then there's other things I'd be like, that doesn't relate at all to the game.
This shit's been going on forever. We're talking about this. Jordy, I remember this is flashing back when you were in Little League. or maybe a little bit after. But I remember in Chatham, a coach got in trouble. Tell me the year if you can think of it, Jay. Remember you had to play a certain amount of innings, or if you were on the roster, you had to play 3 outs and 1 at bat, even into All-Stars. So this wasn't an All-Stars.
Wow, that's a blast from the past.
Fuck yeah.
All-Stars.
Kids don't fucking know shit about All-Stars.
No,
and that
they
was
don't
the
know
best.
shit.
That was the best.
But
you were just you were holding yourself high. You're like, I'm on the fucking
I'm on
All-Stars.
But there was a coach. You had to play 3 outs, 1 at bat. And there was a coach that one of the kids must not have been as good. He told the kid to fake that they were hurt.
Stop.
To not have to get their 3 outs, 1 at bat. And it came up. You remember that? That's fucked. And that's probably
so
going
easy
back.
not
That's
to
probably
do that.
2000. I don't know. 2006,
You make
2007.
more of an effort saying something like that than.
But parents get fucking crazy.
I would be on the parent side of that one. It's like,
I mean, on that
fake
side.
Oh, I mean the coach. I'm saying the coach.
Yeah,
the coach was a parent.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That's just a fucking crazy
I hate parent
move.
coaching. It's not that people. I mean, even Gilliland baseball, like we had parent coaches, and they did a very good job. I always give them credit for that stuff, but. Even when they try to avoid that stuff, it's like, at the end of the day, some parents gonna say, "Oh my, your kid's out there, not mine," and it's
it's a real thing. Like,
it's a real thing.
That was the
it's
thing
very easy to eliminate that fact.
I don't remember us having, when I look back on from once I started playing like school sports, like there were assistant coaches that were parents, but I don't think there was a single head coach that had a kid on the team for any sport that we played, basketball, football, baseball. I don't think any of them had it. So it did make a bit, like for me, growing up, like my dad didn't coach me. My mom didn't coach me, right? Like I always was just like the kid on the team, right? And like somebody else's dad was coaching Little League. So like I didn't have that. And like when I got to school sports, it was like, oh, this is great. Like I don't have to feel that necessarily like bias. Not that I ever really felt it, but like
it's there.
At times it's there. Like there was times where like I didn't make an all-star team and I'd be like, this person made the fucking all-star team, like what the fuck? And like it's just like, one of those things, whether it was favoritism, the coach's son, whatever, like when you get to school ball, it was like, all right, like this is, the best people are going to play, the people that work the hardest are going to play. Like that's what's going to happen. And more times than not that there were still favoritism.
How much do you have to deal with and just process, like knowing all the craziness that's going on? Like your summer is going to be crazy. You're going to be traveling to however many states, going to however many tournaments. Like, how do you try to keep the kids like in a good mindset and focus on the process and understand like what they're really there for?
I remember the first day, it was still pandemic fully blown. My season ended short. Senior year, everything we got. I remember being in Ohio, we took an 18-hour bus ride. We were told in a hotel room that everything's done. Like, so I was like, I'm gonna get involved in coaching. I'm doing nothing else, like absolutely nothing else. First thing I said in the first practice is that I'm not gonna sit here and bullshit you. All right, you signed up for this team not just to have fun, right? This is a travel baseball team. It's a very, obviously for exposure, we're trying to get them to college. Whatever college ball that is, we're trying to get them there for collegiate sports. And it's just like, sometimes you're going to hear things where it's just like me telling you the truth of like, if this is where you want to be, then I'm going to tell you that you're not there yet. Like that's the best thing I feel like I could, whether it's skills, whether it's work ethic, whether it's anything like that. It's like, you really have to and I get the age, like that's a very tough age to drill that home to that age group, but it's just the earlier that they do it too, it's like if you figure out these things that obviously I feel like a big part of coaching is coaching on what you've experienced and what you learned from and like what you can go back and say you wish you did differently or had someone do differently for you. It's like looking back at that, it was just like I made sure that I wasn't just going to lie to them, maybe make them feel good about something when you're not there yet, because that's in their best interest. Down the road, when they're 17, 18, it's time to apply for college or look at, collegiate sports or anything like that. You get to college, that coach will tell you straight up what you're performing, whether you like it or not. They'll let you know what's negative. They'll let you know what you're doing good. If they're a good coach, there's obviously that's the trade-off of coaches and stuff. They can be very abusive with that stuff, but it's like the earlier I can prepare them for that mental, like, hey, a coach is looking at you and saying you're not there yet, and you need to work at this and this and this. after putting, and that's a big part of it, is after they put in a lot of work.
Right.
You know, I tell them that it's not a sprint and it's not a marathon. Like I see a lot of development happen between like 4 to 6 months. And I have kids who go, they work their ass off for a month and then they look for that handout. It's like, I don't see any results.
They want the quick.
Exactly. They're like, I know I'm
gratification.
working hard, and they're like, I've never worked this hard before in my entire life. And I'm like, you're right.
Keep doing it.
But it's like, what makes you think that this is something where someone's going to be like, here you go. That's a month.
Right.
Well,
That's a month or even 2 months. It's like, but then they give up. And it's like they think it's going to be like a 2, 3, 4, 5 year thing where they don't see any results. And it's like, no, if you stuck it out for a couple more months of hard ass work, it's like then you'd wake up and be like, oh my God, like even if the smallest results in terms of improvement for them at that point, it's like, oh wow, like I really actually see this, and like now I understand. But it's like that point of time where it's either I don't see it and now I'm sick of it, and it's like I don't want to keep putting myself through this, or it's just I kind of give up on this part of it, and that's something I try to help them through the entire time.
But that's where it's part of being a good coach too, and like setting up, like small goals along the way, pointing out small wins. It's all about small wins.
Absolutely.
Small wins get you to the big wins.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure. I tell them all the time, like, I think that's a big thing that I've learned too, is like, you should celebrate the good stuff that's going on. Like, take note, I have a lot of hard ass, younger kids, they're very, critical of themselves, and I get it. Like, I was the same way. Like, it's like I'm 13 and now I'm doing video mistakes. I'm like, damn, I made that mistake. It's like, I get it, but like that you're totally putting like a shield towards what you're actually like still accomplishing. It's like, don't get me wrong, like you want to learn from your mistakes, but like take a second to understand this is how far I've come. Like, I'm doing a good job. Be happy about it. Like, that's the whole reason why you did it. But then, don't be satisfied. Like, a lot of people get satisfied. They're like, I'm doing good. I'm there. And it's like,
Well, and
no,
that's what
you
makes
got
the difference.
5 more years till you're 18, and then you're looking at a college coach. It's like, don't be satisfied. Stay hungry. Like, you got this far and you feel this good right now. What's going to make you not want to do that again and work even harder?
You look at either college level or professional level, like the guys that are the best of the best, and the guys that they constantly are striving to do more. The guys that you think are going to be really good, they may have all that talent in the world, right? But then they maybe don't fulfill that talent. Maybe they're a really good professional or a good college player, but they don't fulfill that talent. It's because they got satisfied, right? Whether it's because of the money or because of like the status that they got. They're like, oh, well, I made it. Like, I don't need to do anything else, right? So it's like you get comfortable, you feel like you don't need to work hard, but to get where you ultimately tell yourself you want to go, if you want to be that good, you got to continue to work. Like,
and I'm saying that from experience. It's not like I'm just like, I was 16. I committed when I was 16. I was a sophomore in high school.
That's early.
Very young. Right? I didn't even know. I was naive. I didn't know what. I was just a kid who knew how to pitch, obviously, but like I was still just a hard thrower. Like that got me through a lot, and I was able to manage with that. But it was like, once I committed, I immediately was just like I started coasting. Like, whether it was academic, I knew where I was going to college. Didn't have to worry about. I didn't have to do college applications. I had early decision. Like, and that was just obviously a mindset I didn't want to adopt during that time. But I was too naive to even realize what was happening. It's just like I see all these people freaking about like, application stuff. I'm just like, I'm sitting in class because my teacher said I could keep my headphones in because I don't have to do it. Like, I don't have to do it. So it's like, it's very easy for me to get involved in that stuff. But it's like, all right, I know I throw very hard. I know I'm committed to Division I athletics for baseball. I know where I'm going to school. Why not just keep, I'm good. Like, that's it. It's like, let me know when I'm there. But then it's like, and I wouldn't say I stopped working. Like, I definitely still worked hard, but like, it wasn't
the same.
It wasn't like a commit and like, now it's really time to like get to where you need to be. It was like a commit, coast, kind of, go here and there in terms of hard work, try to understand this and that. And then it was like, if I spent that time, really working hard and understanding it and having that mindset, how'd that feel?
It felt great.
Oh, yeah.
Paul, what was that?
That was my elbow.
On the mic?
No, on the
On
desk.
the desk? Oh, buddy, you need some ice?
Nah, it
Oh,
wasn't
we
my
got
funny
some.
bone. So
Just some screwball.
You need a
a
minute?
little bit of screwball might
Yeah,
help.
you stay lay low over there. Okay, while Paul's recovering, I'm going to ask you a question, Pierce.
Lay it on me. Let's hear it.
What made you commit as a 16-year-old? What?
Scholarship money was a big thing.
Okay.
I can't remember the exact percentage, but it was a very good scholarship. And, I also wasn't given too much time to have that offer on the table. So it was a very, not a crazy amount of time where it was like a week, but it was like very time pressing. Like, I never visited a school before. I never thought about college. I never I was a sophomore. Like,
Right.
it was 2 years into high school. Like, just freshman year, obviously awkward, whatever. Just getting involved in high school, kind of getting your feet underneath you in terms of high school. Second year, but it was like I frantically went to local schools like Marist, this and that, just to walk foot on a campus, just to see something, just to see what college was and what programs. And I still looked at academics first, and I get it, the student athlete, student comes, but I really was okay, if I'm going to be here for 4 years, it's not just because of these sports. So it's but it was still a small timetable of I have this opportunity and this amount to be paid for in terms of not having to worry about too many loans after this and that. College is obviously expensive, and education is expensive, but it was just a trade-off of is this the right choice? It's a very hard choice for a 16-year-old to make. So he might feel like it's right, but then 2 years, 3 years go by, and you get there, and you're maybe it wasn't. It's a tough.
So now,
it's a tough time period.
So now, as a 24-year-old, do you look back and you think back to 16-year-old peers, being what if I did something else?
I think we all can be in places where it's a what if scenario. It's but I don't regret anything. It's. I think it exactly happened the way it should. It was a grind, don't get me wrong. I think, won't get on the whole Siena aspect of things. And, I think Division I sports is Division I sports, and not even just the base, it's just the schedule of it, going from a kid who coasted, on all aspects of that, and then boom, front door, student athlete schedule, 5 a.m. till 12 o'clock at night.
And that's not just Division I, too. That's
all college sports, and I don't want to put it just for Division I.
Yeah.
It's all college sports, but it was just
it's a different animal.
5 a.m. lift with all the dudes, and seniors who I'm just these guys are squatting 500, and I'm just a high school kid getting there. And it's I did things over the summer, getting kind of my feet underneath me, but it's just doing that and then having the energy to then go from class to 8 till 12 o'clock, and then having 30 minutes to eat, and then going to practice from 1 to 4, and then night class 6 to 9, and then you have homework. It's that was just a slap in the face for me in the beginning. First semester, 2 semesters, it was well, this is what this is, and I wasn't.
It's a full-time job.
Yeah,
it was almost 2 jobs.
That's one of the pluses that we talked with Nick and Garrett from Novice about hiring former athletes. But if you're not good at time management, you're not going to have an athletic career. No fucking way.
And that's
no
a
way.
part of learning it. Obviously, first, when I got there, I actually had to work hard towards time management. I did a good job considering where I was at and how long I did that for. But it was time management's huge. And people always joke with me, all the friends that I, who were my teammates and stuff, when we're going, say we're in public or something, we are just point A to point B. We always catch ourselves why are we sprinting right now? It's because we were just so, and that, people who didn't play, sports or anything, and friends that I have, they're hey, Pierce, slow down. They're because I'm just so used to point A to point B, got to get here, destination, eat lunch. This is the only time I have. Now I got to go. Now I got to. It's they always call me out for it, and it's all my friends too. They're just you guys running somewhere? Obviously we weren't sprinting, but it's we're walking to the restaurant, and it's just I'm the first one to the door, and I'm the hell you guys doing back there? It's just ingrained in you for a long time.
You know what's crazy though? I mean, okay, so 16, you say I'm gonna commit. I'm gonna go to Siena. I'm gonna have 3-4 years of baseball. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going super fast, point A to point B. And then COVID hits your senior year. I mean, shout out, my sister just got here. We got an audience tonight, but I saw her. Shout out Alyssa. I saw her at her tail end of college. I think. What year did you graduate?
2020.
2020. What were you?
2020.
The same. It was tough. I watched her and felt, because that's such a money year to figure out what's the next step of my life. Let me move somewhere. Let me be with my friends. Let me party. Let me start to make some money. And then it's stay in your fucking house.
Yeah, locked it. Uncertainty. A lot of uncertainty. I mean, I'll just throw it out like this. This is how it exactly happened. We were in Ohio for a preseason tournament. I'm eating lunch, down the road to the hotel, and we get a text, come meet in the hotel room, lobby, and it was, hey, seniors, your whole season's over. We didn't even start our senior season, everything that we worked for, this and that. And, oh, by the way, pack up all your shit. We're going to hand in our jerseys when we get back. We have an 18-hour bus ride to think about it as seniors staring out the window, you know, trying not to be miserable, this and that. Like everything was just boom, like it's over. I remember I took a screenshot on the bus. It was NHL, NFL, and NBA all canceled. I'm like, and they didn't technically cancel our season yet, but I was like, if the max season's not canceled, but this shit is, clearly this isn't going to be a thing. Like obviously, so long bus ride home. We get there early in the morning, and it's just like that. I've had 3 years of handing in my jerseys at the end of the year, knowing that there's going to be another year, and it's like, cut short. Here you go. Here's all my stuff. And it wasn't like a go home, you know, go back to your dorm or whatever, go back to your townhouse and, you know, spend the night. And, you know, it was get your shit packed up. You're moving out like today, like by the end of the day. And now I'm parked in my parents' basement on Zoom calls for the rest of my senior season or senior year in terms of academics too. Just locked in there. Not locked, but you know what I mean? Like that was when pandemic, people thought you were going to walk outside and drop dead.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, of course I was miserable. Like that's a very hard pill to swallow. Like when you have, especially when you're so used to something, and it's just like, there I was. Like obviously I think it was for a lot of people. I can speak for a lot of people. It's just dark days, like just uncertainty and not knowing what's the next step is. Is there going to be a next step? When's this going to end? Are things going to open up? How do I plan, you know, next steps in teaching? Like I, you know, didn't have anything with that, and schools aren't even open. So it's like that was my whole, you know, major and minor. It's like, what am I gonna do? Like there's no path. Like
Yeah,
it's just scrambled.
It's
like,
definitely, you know, it's like high school to college. It's like this little transition period where it's exciting because you're like gonna make some change for the better. I know more about myself, and now college to out in the real world is like an even more exciting change because now I know even more about myself, and I have even more skills and experience and friends and places to go. And then it's like, just kidding.
Hard to have experience when you're sitting in your basement all
Just
day. It's like, what am I learning? I mean, yeah, you can research things, you can do your book stuff, but it's like experience and application is a big part of it too. And it's like, I can't do anything. Like,
I would have done terrible in college if that happened to me. Terrible.
But then I look at it like I feel like I was lucky because then I look at it from my sister's point of view, and she, you know, her college was Zoom for the most part. Like she's 21, so it's like Zoom. That's no partying. I experienced a lot of going to bars, this and that, like townhouse party nights, like, you know, whole college campus nights. Like that's a big social part of your life, and it's like she didn't experience that, and she'll never be able to get that part of it back, and that's tough. And she's not the only one. Everyone throughout those younger years. I'm looking at my teammates too. Who I just got my hair cut today, and he, you know, one of my teammates cuts my hair, and he's a younger. He's a senior this year.
Can we shout him out?
Yeah, Nick Malillo.
Shout out Malillo, man.
Malillo.
What a great
D,
guy.
I call him. Get crazy, get loud. But he does a good job with haircuts, and it was awesome just being in a locker room. And it was not for free, but it was like I don't have to go all the way 30 minutes down. He does a very good job with it, and his family owns Renato. Shout out Renato's Barbershop too. It's in Rotterdam. But you know, just the, you know, it's a lot. It was a lot to handle at the time. It was because it was so quick too.
Right.
It's like 0 to 100. Like here you are. Like this is what everyone's going through. I was able to like not cope, but just understand a little bit better that if it was only like say it was only Siena or the MAC or anything, everyone was going through it. So that's a little bit easier to understand. But like if it was just us, I thought it was dark. It would have been real dark.
Okay, so you wrap up that year, you get another year of eligibility, correct? But you don't use it?
No.
Talk to me.
I think you know, up and down, like nothing's extreme injury, but like I could have obviously done things better. Don't get me wrong. Like but you know, there's a lot of things that were put into play, and I really was at a point where, you know, I wanted to be able to provide a living for myself and get the work part of it down, because even throughout those 4 years of college, I wasn't working summers because, I mean, if I was local at Albany Dutchman, I could, you know, do a part-time here and there, but it's like I'm getting placed, you know, mandatory placement to play summer baseball, and it's not like I'm getting a job out there and stuff, so it was very hard to like get a, you know, savings and this and that, and or just make money and stuff like that. So it was like once I graduated, I was like, or especially when that all started happening, I was like, all right, like I had my time with baseball. I played it my whole life. I don't, you know, we talk about this in gen, like I don't miss it. I love coaching it. I love the game, right? But I don't miss it. Like I'm not where I'm just like, wow, like I really wish that I had that extra year or stuff. I just hung up the cleats and was like, you know, I got to move on and not let the, you know, dwell on this, or not that I don't think I was capable, but it was just more of like a decision within myself. I was like, all right, what's priority right now? It's like another year of a question mark with baseball. Like we don't, even with that COVID eligibility, like once something came back, once they shut things down, it's like, is it worth all that hassle to?
We couldn't stress. Like,
And I also don't think my coach wanted me back because he probably already had 15 freshmen ready to come in. I mean, my graduating class was 15.
Right.
How many did we graduate with?
Right. How many? 3.
3.
That's real with most schools. Most people tell the same story.
3.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I'm thinking of mine.
That's yeah.
3.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I was a D3. I don't know what our freshman class was, maybe 5. I finished with 1. It's like
15 to 3.
15 to 3 is crazy.
Well, and that's like.
4, I guess 4. 1 graduated early.
Well,
You know,
that's like what
early
you talked about
graduation.
before, like the whole like, and I think that's where you being a coach at All Stars and being able to kind of almost give those kids like that reality check of like, dude, like you got to work at this because like if they don't get that before they go to college, when they go to college, it could be that like, oh shit moment, and like, do I really want to do this?
But
and then they become, one of the 4 out of the 5 that doesn't make it to the end of their, graduation.
But then they still carry that with them, right? That's the best thing you could do, even if there's going to be that unfortunate moment where a coach says, "Hey, listen, like you didn't make the cut, you're not good enough," or something like that. But then they did all that work and that's a hard thing to overcome. Don't get me wrong; they might have a low time period where like pretty depressed, like this. But then they understood what it was like to work hard and really
And that'll
like,
translate to
give
other
it their
things.
all, and then maybe not have regrets and saying, "Oh, what could I have done better? What could I have done this?" It's like I gave my 100%.
I think the 15 to 3 or the 5 to 1, partly is because of the flawed system bringing them up.
Yes.
You're specializing too early. You're overworking yourself physically and psychologically. So all of a sudden you reach this pinnacle that you've wanted since you were 13, and maybe it's good to start and you see some adversity. Then it's even harder work when you get to college. And you're just like, at some point, this has happened to me. So I played my first 2 years. Like I was a starter my whole freshman year and then my whole sophomore year in a position. I went in as an infielder, ended up starting as an outfielder.
Blows my mind still.
And then I went to
fly balls. Fun.
And then I went to fall ball my junior year, and I was just like, this isn't fun. I don't feel the same way about it. It's just like a chore. I'm not happy. And I was like, that's that, and hung them up. But I think it's because of the pressures I put on myself since I was like fucking 12 years old. It just finally was too much. I just couldn't.
And that's coming from some, like it's not like you specialized, like necessarily.
No, but I put immense pressure on myself.
But the pressure on yourself. So like, imagine all these kids now that are specializing at 12 years old.
Right.
And the pressure they're putting on themselves. And that's like when we go back to one of our previous guests, Brooke. Like she even said, they have 2 girls for volleyball, and 1 girl played multiple sports even if it was up until let's say their junior year, and then they decided to play volleyball junior and senior year, and the other girl has only been playing like volleyball her whole life. They're more likely to take the girl that played multiple sports because the likelihood of that burnout is so much lower, and then also the skills that translate from other sports over to another sport do correlate. And it's just like when you think of that, and you're talking about a college coach that's saying like we're going to look at somebody that plays more than one sport before we look at somebody that specializes in one sport. Like that's not driven home to enough kids. It's like, no, you got to go do hitting with this person, fielding with this person. Then you got to go play travel ball here and travel ball there and this and that. And it's like, dude, how many different things you got to do to get there? When in reality, it's like, okay, if you went and did a hitting lesson during this time of the year, and then you went and lifted all year round, and you did this, and not necessarily and played 2 sports, not even 3, just played 2, you'd be better off.
Agreed.
Like, and that's what I was talking to one of the kids today. Like, I think it's really tough for kids, unless you go to a smaller school like Chatham or something like that where they need people to play sports to have teams. But like it's really hard for kids that want to play at the next level to play 3 sports and then make it to the next level.
It's harder.
But it's not hard to play 2.
Sports.
It's not hard to play 2, in my opinion. You could do football and baseball very easily. You could do basketball and baseball very easily. And I said this to somebody today about Mike with baseball. There are so many. Mike had some of the best like range at the shortstop and second base. Like got to everything. When it was a ground ball, everything. And if you when I think about Mike when he was on the basketball court, like Mike was one of our best defensive players because he was so quick side to side. All of that stuff translates over to baseball, like going side to side at shortstop and second base and everything. And it's like those skills translate right over. So it's very possible to be able to do both. Problem is you have all the development.
Okay,
issues.
is it Pierce? Because you're there. You're at, in terms of this area, the most elite travel baseball program there is. is it impossible to do another sport? Or is it the parents not seeing things the right way and not allowing the kid to do a second sport?
It's a tough one. I mean, I don't think it's impossible. I won't go as far as saying it's impossible, but it's really, that's a, conversation that is a very adult-like conversation that a kid has to have within himself of, listen, like, have that talk with their parents, like a very productive conversation of, if we're going to do this, like, and a lot of it's this, right? It's a lot of money spent in terms of sports and stuff like that. It's like, if you're going to do this, like, are you really set on it? Like, are you really going to put in the work? Are you really going to, like, be able to manage 2 sports during this?
Right.
What one do you enjoy better? Do you enjoy both equally the same? If you enjoy one better, we had I won't, say his name, but we had a kid who, played football and baseball. And, he just, as a fifth, and shout out to him, and like I said, I won't say his name, but, had a very mature, conversation to us as coaches of, where his mindset was at and like how he I was just kind of sat back and I was like, wow, like if I was 15 or 16, I wouldn't be able to look a coach in the face and say, what, honestly, he said that I want to play football and that's what my dream is and that's what but I also love baseball, but because these guys are on this team, he's putting this in another person's perspective, because these guys are sold on baseball and that's what they want to accomplish, I don't want to take away my capabilities in terms of taking away exposure from them because I'm not fully set on it. He was a very talented player. He probably, produced more than, not more than others on the team, but it's just like he produced very well for our team. And it's like he's that mature at that age to say, listen, football is where my heart's at. I don't want to be a part of this team to take away from exposure and taking chances away from someone else who's sold on baseball. Like, and I was just sitting there like, holy shit, like, good for you. Like, you had some stones in your sack to say that, like, and be honest about it. And like, at 15 years old, it's like, if I was 15, I don't think I'm saying that shit.
No.
Like, I'm not, and maybe I say it internally and stuff, but like, to be like, listen, like, and we had a, Zoom call with our team, like, explaining, because he was obviously very close with the kids and stuff, and it's like, he had to sacrifice that, break off of, these are my boys, this and this, but football is where I want to be.
Right.
It's like,
in the grand scheme, they're still going to be his boys.
It doesn't mean that he can't handle both. He clearly handled both.
Yeah.
And he, was very productive in both. But, that's just I think that's what it comes down to is like, what does the kid want? That's the biggest priority.
Agreed.
I get parents. I get there's parents who have ego, but then there's parents who do have their kids' best interest in like what they want them to accomplish and stuff. But at the end of the day, like even best interest is like what's coming out of their mouth and what their heart's telling you. You gotta you gotta go with it.
I can think of a few kids in here that only play baseball. They've only ever played baseball, and I've asked them flat out, like, did you ever want to play another sport? And they're like, no, I've just always wanted to play baseball.
And that's okay.
Okay.
But if you have this itch to play basketball too, then
Or
you
football.
do it, or football, then you do it because there's only so many years in your life you could do these
There's
things.
nothing wrong with that, especially high school.
Yeah.
Especially
I
high
get it.
school.
Like,
And well, that's the other
that
thing
goes
too.
back to like kids are playing this that not anticipating moving on.
Right.
Like this is their. I love the sport. I'm here to play. I'm here to have fun. I'm here to work hard, and then I'm good.
Well, and that's
all I got to worry about.
That's what I was going to get to with like the money thing. It's like, okay, say you have Johnny, and Johnny loves baseball, but he also wants to play football, right? Football for the school is free. It doesn't cost you anything to play that sport.
Yeah,
it
it's all
costs you
travel
time.
stuff.
It costs you time. That's all it costs you. But if you
And
want
equipment here and there.
not all the
Actually, yeah, football. I never played. So
Football's
honestly,
all
I can't
provided.
speak
I mean,
on
when
that part of it.
at Chatham,
I'm
which
just thinking
is-
about bats and everything with
at
baseball.
Chatham, which is not
Paul's just like, I'm fucking coming to kill you.
pretty much. But like football, like even at Chatham, and like I mean, maybe not Shen, who knows, but or other schools. But like if Chatham was providing all the equipment, I'm pretty sure all these other schools are providing the equipment.
You know how I was terrified at school dances? I was equally fucking terrified at Pop Warner football practice. I'll tell you
Because
that.
we're getting hit.
Hit. This was back
Dude,
in
I
the
loved
day
it.
No,
where
loved
like
it.
concussion
Yeah,
was
Paul's
not
eyes are lighting up. It's like, where's the weak link? He's done.
concussion was not a word back then.
No, concussion
No,
protocol.
the only
No.
person I only remember one person ever like being a concussion thing was like a real thing, and it was because he had to wear like a special helmet.
Yeah,
like he had to wear a
but,
helmet
like-
on a helmet.
But like Pop Warner, you do this drill. I don't even know what it's called. Where one kid would be standing, like ready to fucking murder you.
Yeah.
And little 10-year-old Mike would be lying on his back, facing the opposite fucking way. And the coach would
Surprise!
be like, would be
Bam!
like, go. And this kid, fucking Bubba Smith, is standing there ready to murder me. I have to get up and spin and run at Bubba Smith, and he just fucking ripped my neck
running
off.
start just
So they-
wearing it. Like,
so the
can't
way that
wait
drill
for-
actually
What'd you do at
worked-
practice today? I got fucking destroyed.
Let's
over
talk
and
about the
over
name of
and
this
over
drill.
again.
This
What's
was
it
the name
called?
of the drill. This was the Nutcracker drill.
Yeah, I mean, come
I got
on.
my fucking nuts cracked
Why do you think they
every
fucking called it
day.
that? What sick fuck called it that in the first place? There's a reason why. There's a
Fucking
reason
no,
why.
but guess what? It was awesome.
What'd you do at practice tonight? The Nutcracker. That sounds safe. It
was.
Sounds like
It was great.
Safe.
It's
Yeah, okay.
fantastic.
All right. Safety.
Fucking crazy. You have to weigh in too before games.
Oh, that was
like,
they don't
so-
they don't do that anymore.
Before
well,
games,
Bubba
really?
Smith, who was fucking wringing my neck, wouldn't even make weight. So those fucking kids kill.
He
It's
spent all
sad.
those calories and all
They
that
got rid.
sweat.
They got rid of that though. That was a good thing because I remember when I was doing Pop Warner, like I literally had to like strip down to my boxers to make weight.
Really?
Yeah, like I had to
What
like
were the
Fucking
ages of
weight,
Pop Warner? I
kids.
never played. So I
Pop
don't know.
Warner. I would have bet it was
You're weighing a 10-year-old?
fifth
Like,
and
what's-
sixth. It was fifth and sixth.
It
grade.
was fourth to like 7.
fourth to
And the
well
girls are better than the guys.
well seventh. Well, in Mike's case, maybe. The seventh grade was like
you tell her to slow down?
only played in seventh grade if you were like too small to play modified. Like that's what it was.
That was me.
Like because like
Shout out, Mike.
I remember a few kids that played Pop Warner in seventh grade because they were like 90 pounds fucking soaking wet. And then in eighth grade they had a little bit of a growth spurt and they put on some weight. So then and you can't play Pop Warner in eighth grade. So they came up to modified. But like yeah, Pop Warner was like
300-pound
now
behemoth.
Pop Warner is like way younger, but they don't do weight classes, weigh-ins anymore.
Do they do
Like,
nutcrackers still?
It's possible. It's possible. Did more of those type of drills in Pop Warner and modified than I ever did in high school.
Yeah, you just
got
didn't
to high,
realize.
you got to high school.
Because
And the
then you
coaches
got
were like,
educators
this
like,
is-
man, maybe this isn't probably the best thing to do.
The coaches in high school were like, we need you guys to be able to
Yeah.
fucking play
And
You'd
on
not be
Friday
a
night.
rotting vegetable in your brain.
In fucking Pop Warner, coaches probably fucking having a Coors Light in the parking lot, dumping it and coming out there and doing a
All right,
nutcracker
who's hitting who
drill.
harder? Who's your first person to hit this person the hardest?
Jeez, what a fucking
Oh,
wild
what a time to be
I
alive.
never experienced it, honestly.
It was
I can't
it was
say
great.
the same. But
I will.
can't-
At the moment,
I'm sure I
played,
played a couple hits
I
pretty-
played
couple kids pretty
soccer
hard.
through fourth grade, and they said we're starting Pop Warner. I was like, fuck soccer. It was a split second decision. I was like,
I'm
out.
ready to hit someone. Fuck kicking a ball.
Yeah, I played
I'm not the
goalie.
next Ronaldo. Oh,
because I couldn't kick
I
the ball.
did that shit when I was younger. I was just, it's like, why am I here?
I could punt it, but I
Here
couldn't.
comes the ball. All right, kicked past me. Like, great. Now
so-
everyone hates me. It's like, I'm the biggest, tallest kid. I get tired when I run. It's like, why did I sign up for this shit?
Jeez, I was scared of a lot of shit. You know what else I was scared of?
What?
In college, my first year of college, will you use the Beezer bat still?
Oh, those things are
Oh.
dangerous.
So sometimes
shit.
sometimes I'd come out
Hit
of the
that shit to the moon.
sometimes I'd come out of the outfield and play third base, and you have a playing third base with a Beezer is like
Hot corner.
that was
That
like,
is
we were talking
shaking
today.
and just like almost like going to the side, making sure it's starting from the side. Making
We were
sure
talking
you're
today
there.
about like, oh, they should just like let MLB players juice up, use this, use that, da da da.
Right.
No, one of the kids
Imagine them
goes,
using that shit.
one of the
They
kids
can
goes, let
hit
them
on
use
their
metal
feet.
bats, and Mike goes, people will die. Imagine Stanton
Stan.
hitting a ball. I
You go
wouldn't
700
play
feet.
third base. I
You go
would never play third base.
Third base. I'd be playing left field as third base.
Yeah,
and I'd
that's what
still
I
be
said.
scared.
I'd be playing in City Field at Yankee
I'd be
Stadium.
in I'd be in the bleachers and the nosebleeds. Still scared.
Yeah.
But fucking baseball, Dan texts me. Dan's at a high school game right now, and he's just like, "This one's in extra innings again. It's a 4-hour long game. Poor guy's
Dude, he's
supposed to
been
have
there
a day off."
forever.
Brutal.
Yeah, brutal.
God bless
You got
him. He's sitting there
you
pissed.
gotta make these games fucking shorter.
I get
Yeah.
it. It's just so tough. Like,
Well,
this sport itself.
What can you do?
There is evidence though with the pitch clock and something else.
I get that. but
in the minors that
it's
they've
still
cut,
not cutting off the time. That's
they've cut
needed.
off 30 minutes of minor league play
I
time.
love baseball. I don't sit there for 9 innings watching
no.
that shit. Are you
No,
kidding
I tried
me?
to give my employee
Even
the day
in the
off
game-
today,
even
and he's
if I
fucking
go there.
5 hours at a baseball game.
Even
right
if I
now.
go to the game, it's like
I spent less
Yeah,
time
you get your drinks or
driving to
whatever
New
you-
Paltz, watching a lacrosse game, and driving back than Dan has at this one game.
Yeah.
That is local.
Yeah.
that's watching damn paint dry.
Yeah.
Especially
I mean-
if it's like the extra where kids, or it's like the opposite. Kids are just getting like a team's getting murdered,
Yeah,
and
that's
there's
the
no
worst.
mercy.
Right, you gotta
And you're
mercy-
just
you gotta mercy
You have
rule.
to put a mercy rule.
There's
out there.
gotta be
I'm
a mercy
sorry.
rule, and
I'm
there-
sorry, you just have to.
There's
And
got to
it's-
be something with
Because
like a
that
pitch
shit
clock.
could go to 22 to nothing, and you're just like, I'm literally putting on a platter for you, and you still can't get the job done, and we're here for 7 hours. It's like,
It's awful.
it's tough. It's tough. I get it. I get the side of everyone saying baseball's a hard sport to watch. It's like
Do you think
9
they could,
innings is long.
Do you think they could put like 9 innings or like 2.5 hours? whatever happens.
I don't know.
No, or just why not make it 7 innings?
Right.
I don't know. What do I fucking care?
Yeah.
But
I mean, 7 innings.
There's
9
also
innings.
162 fucking games. So
I'll only say it this way. Oh, I feel like a lot happens between 7 through 9.
yeah, that's true.
A lot.
But would that
happens.
change? Would that
Even
change?
like when I was sitting, like we'd always joke around, like in the bullpen or something like that. Like, don't say the word, like, oh wow, this game's going pretty quick, because it gets to the 7th damn inning.
Yes,
and
and-
then next thing you know, it's 7 through 9, and it's
At the Shen Burnt Hills game last year.
oh, this game's
You're like,
pretty
this
quick.
game's going pretty quick.
4
Extra
hours
innings.
later, it's like, oh shit.
I was like, are you
Why
fucking
did I
kidding
say
me?
that? But like that's true. It's like 7 through 9. It's like you get into your relievers, you get a bullpen, you get into stuff, and it's like I remember sometimes those 7 through 9 is like an extra 2 hours, and you're just like, wow.
But I
this
also
is
feel
tough.
like you could potentially shorten it to 7 games, especially with the way that pitching's going. How many pitchers really go more than 5 innings now?
I
not
think
many.
Kershaw should have.
Kershaw
but they
would-
pulled him
should've.
out in a perfect game.
Yeah,
as
he
if
should've
that
went
guy,
all
he's
night.
already old. It's like, why are we taking him
Yeah,
out?
you play devil. The guy's coming off an injury. I'm playing devil's advocate.
I know,
Yeah.
I get it. I
get
get
it.
both stuff, but it's like,
But it's a
the
perfect
man,
game.
he's got a perfect game going. He's not that I wouldn't say end of his career, but like he's older. It's like
It wasn't a no-hitter.
the
It was
next
a perfect game.
Exactly. The next chance that this is probably going to happen, there might not be the one. So
How many
it's
years
like-
has there been baseball? A lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Over
I'm
100.
reaching for
And
a
how
number.
many
I'm
perfect
probably
games
gonna
have
There's
there
say-
been 20. It would have been the 24th perfect game. There was only been 23 perfect
It's like,
games.
and when they take him out, what inning was it?
It was
Not
like the
the
eighth- it was the- it was the eighth.
It was like,
It was the 8th
and he was
inning
at
with
like
80
and
pitches.
yeah, that's the kicker. He was
Right.
at 80 damn pitches.
But you got to look up what his
Thriving.
you got to look up what his previous 4 or 5 starts were. I don't know if they were 20s and 30s. Then like that's a big
Well,
percentage
it's the
increase.
first. It's like his second start of the year.
yeah, well,
I
you
would've
just-
let him
you-
go. I
I
would've
would
let
just
him go.
let that shit ride.
You just
Are
would
you
have to
kidding
look.
me?
You would
But
have to
Dave
look it
Roberts
up.
also has a history of doing that because he took somebody else out with like 80 pitches a few years ago that had a no hitter. He has like a history of like doing it. I'm like, why?
Yeah, I disagree with that.
I mean, I just
He was
miss
dealing.
I just miss the days of our childhood, just with these juice guys hitting fucking bombs.
BSR bats.
Those, but just in the MLB,
Oh
McGuire,
yeah,
Sosa.
steroid
Bond.
era. I
Please.
get, put Bonds in the damn Hall of Fame. We talk about it here all the time.
Yeah,
Put them all.
you love Bonds.
Put 'em all in.
I mean,
Tell me how
because-
much you love Bonds.
I love because at the end of the day, you got to hit the damn baseball. I mean, the Astros, like, you're a professional hitter, you know what's coming. Like, you have no excuse. Like,
Right.
Fastball's coming, you're getting timed up for a fastball.
Yeah.
You know, off speed's coming, it's more ball
That's-
strike.
to
getting
me, that's
timing.
more cheating than the steroids.
Bonds doesn't know what's coming.
Right.
He has no clue. It could be
And-
100 or it could be a changeup.
How many times did he get intentionally walked?
He got
and he still hit
Greg
that many home
Maddux.
runs.
I remember this quote. Greg Maddux said the easiest way to pitch to fucking Barry Bonds was to walk him. Okay, so
There's nobody else ever in baseball you could say that about.
no,
No.
and I was kind of pissed when the Yankees walked Miggy Cabrera for his 3,000.
Dude, that dude.
That's like, what are we doing?
He's one of those guys though that he hits everything.
I get it, but like,
I mean, I would at that point too. And guess what? They gave up 2 runs right after that. So should have
not
let
a
him
bloop
hit.
shitty.
Should have let him fucking hit.
But like, yeah, put Bonds in the Hall of Fame.
Put Bonds
I'll
in-
only say it in this way: Ortiz. He was
Yes.
on the damn list.
Yep.
I don't care. He's on the damn list. No, Bonds wasn't caught. It's not like he was testing like
But
this
then
is
what?
positive. Like,
what
it's like,
makes them put Ortiz in and not Bonds if both did PEDs?
That's what I
You
mean.
wanna know
It's,
the difference is
goes
Bonds
to
was
the
an
fans.
asshole
It's
and
a
Ortiz
fans.
wasn't. That's really what it is.
But who's
Ortiz wasn't an asshole. Bonds was an
Who's
asshole.
voting? Writers?
Writers, Baseball of America writers. That's who votes.
Fuck 'em.
Which I don't
Fuck
think
'em.
is right either. I don't think writers should be voting. I think it should be former coaches, former players, current coaches, and,
I mean,
Bonds was
and
just-
people that are
Then
in the
you
Hall
look
of
at
Fame.
Mark McGuire, who's just,
Oh my
Dude, there was a video
a
of him.
juggernaut. It's like he's walking like
Huge.
this, and it's like he swing the bat like a toothpick. It's like,
Sosa.
oh, I wonder if this guy's on steroids. It's like, probably.
But
like Sosa,
to be
yeah.
fair, when Mark McGuire and Sosa were on steroids, it wasn't illegal. It was not illegal.
what I mean, it's a steroid
It
era.
wasn't
It's like-
illegal in Major League Baseball till what? It was like shortly after that, like sometime in the early 2000s.
They had those hearings. I don't know, but I just think like when we all have kids one day and we want to go to Baseball Hall of Fame and we say, look at all these great guys we watched play growing up, and you're like, this hallway's empty.
Yeah, this hallway.
This hallway
is-
has 4 people in
You
it.
hear that? You hear that fucking cricket? It's like, yeah, but it's just like put Bond. I'm not
Bonds,
gonna-
Clemens, like they all deserve
I
to be
agree.
in.
That's
Like,
just what the times were.
dude, Clemens. had-
Astro slap on the damn wrist of knowing what damn banging like idiots with a damn trash can in the dugout going that far, knowing what pitch is gonna come,
Yeah,
and
it's,
they still couldn't get the job done.
well,
That
they
whole
did. They did. They
well,
did-
I
they
mean,
did
yeah,
win a
the
World
year,
Series.
but then like another year of doing it, it's
Right.
like even with doing that, like it shows like you didn't get the fucking job done. It's
Right.
like Bonds got the damn job done.
73.
Yeah.
And I think he would have been Hall of Famer without the steroids.
Yeah.
He was already 30 for 30, 30 fucking home runs.
He had like 500 home
stolen
runs before.
bases. It's like, average. Like, I think he would have already been in the Hall of Fame. So, I guess he tarnished that part of it.
He's
But
different.
it's like, you got to hit the damn ball. You got to hit the damn ball. What are
Mm-hmm.
you going to do?
That whole class. I don't know. I don't agree with this, but the only thing, we train so many baseball players in here, and I love the sport, and I watch it if one of our guys are playing in the game. Like, I love it. I know these guys. I've seen them put in the
You're
work.
invested.
They're invested. I'm invested in them. It's fantastic. But unless it's one of our guys playing in a game or I'm at a game, I'm really not watching unless there's these fucking crazy fights that have been happening. You seen these this week?
Oh,
The
like
two.
collegiate ones?
No, did you
Or-
see the Mets one?
Well, there was the Mets one, and there was
I
this.
saw a picture. Some kid, I think, hit a home run or
This
something.
is the JUCO.
the JUCO one.
Oh,
Yep.
and just lay this fucking kid out,
he did the- he
blindside,
did
like
the-
just like the Nutcracker drill.
Yeah.
He Aaron
but
Donalded him.
blindsided.
He
like,
Aaron Donalded
just
him.
killed this kid.
Paul, pull it up. It's fucking crazy. I don't agree. This is
Where am I gonna find this thing?
Twitter,
Whip-
right?
I'm
but
surprised he's not
how-
paralyzed,
How would I
like-
search it though?
Just search JUCO baseball tackle.
guess.
YouTube,
JUCO.
Twitter, anywhere. It's like
Pull it up.
JUCO massacre.
Baseball. Jordan, did you see this?
JUCO murder.
Oh my gosh.
Just
here
threw
it
the
is,
glove
here it
down.
is.
You knew
Here.
exactly
It's
what was
fucking
gonna
crazy.
happen. I
Hold
gotta
on,
watch
let
this
me
shit. Yeah. Oh my God.
Play it again.
Oh, he said. Here we
He
go.
said, "Fuck it."
Dude, oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Yo.
I
That
get
kid
you.
definitely
Pissed.
goes. That whole team just beat his ass too because none of his other team even came over there.
JUCO's
None of his team
different,
came to
man.
support
I never
him.
played JUCO. JUCO's different.
It's a different world.
I was
JUCO's
gonna ask
fucking
you that
different.
earlier. Was that like
Never even pops in my mind.
right? Like I was gonna say, was that ever something that like you thought about?
No.
And I mean, obviously, being so young when you committed it, it's different.
Never
but-
thought about it. Never went through I mean, I want to associate JUCO with like injuries for sure. I think that some people get injured and maybe there's Tommy John, this and that, like kind of get your feet on, And I can't really speak of like a educated part of it because I never played it. I never really understood it. But it's just like, even the guys that I like say they came from Siena, went to Siena from a JUCO. It's like they always told me about injury they were overcoming, and then
I think
what
it's
they're trying to,
it's like this space for people that are still developing. They've had an injury. It's just they know that they can work hard to get to the next step. They're just not there yet when it's time to commit in high school, whether it's from an injury, whether it's from their state of mind, whether it's from their grades, whether it's from
yeah.
it's just they're not there. It's a good place for some people.
Oh, I'm sure. It's it's just how I think it's with anywhere though. It's like college, this, that. It's like
It's finding the right fit.
Yeah, it's what you get. It's what you put into it, and like what you get out of it. What your purpose is, like what you want to accomplish from it. We want to. Some people just go to JUCO because they love playing and they don't want that pressure. And
Right.
Not that it's not pressuring. You're still playing a competitive sport, but it's like it's not like that. It's not like that level of
It is and it isn't.
It is, but that's the
what I was gonna
trade-off.
say.
It's
Was
like
it's
in some
it may not be
perspectives
that
it is, and-
pressure as far as like maybe the overall competition level, but it's the pressure of like if you do want to make it, this is your last shot.
I mean, you got what's his name here? Was it Packard or something?
Packard, yeah,
like
Packard
those
and
guys,
Braun.
like it's like
They're
I don't
different.
personally know them, but it's like they have attack, like they want to accomplish something out
Right.
of it. They're not just there to play, like they're there.
That's
to,
what
like,
it
get
comes
to
down
that.
to. You can put somebody with that mindset anywhere.
Exactly.
And
D3, D2, D1
Doesn't matter.
JUCO, high school sports. It's like it's
Yeah.
like you have that mindset of what you want to get out of it and what your end goal is. Then
But I think when we talked with Ferrone too, he's a good example of like somebody that didn't necessarily have that mindset originally.
Right.
Because
and
his
people
coach,
go there to
his
find
coach,
it out.
his
Maybe they
coach
go
flat
there to
out told
figure
him-
it out. It's like it's
Yeah.
all what they make out of
Well,
it.
his coach told him, he's like, if you don't start pitching better, you're gonna hit. And he was like, fuck that.
I'm not hitting. Get
That was
shit out
exactly
my
what he said.
face.
He's like, no, I'm not hitting. And now he's going to Louisville. So, it's like you may not have the pressure. You may feel like it's like not as much pressure because it's not Division I or whatever. But like, if you really want to play at a higher level than JUCO, like that's your last
It's for a
chance.
purpose.
That's
Yeah.
the
You have
last
a
fucking
purpose,
chance.
that's
So
the
you
reason
do
why
have
you're
pressure, but it's just a different type.
For sure.
This moonrock was the right idea as it gets darker
Definitely.
out. You agree?
I agree.
Sam, you're wrong.
It's not a moon rock.
What is
Whatever.
It's
It's
a Himalayan salt.
Himalayan
How do
salt
you know?
lamp.
Is it
to-
salty? Did you try? Did you taste it?
it? Does it taste like salt?
Yeah, I want Pierce to lick
Oh, it does?
it.
if you lick it?
that dusty.
Should we?
It probably is dusty. It's
No,
never-
don't lick.
has
Don't.
been
Don't.
dusted.
Don't do
lick it,
that.
Don't lick it. Keep it PG over here.
But I like them. It's a good vibe, though. It was the right call, Sam.
No, I like it. It's a good
So-
vibe for sure.
It's a fantastic vibe.
Back to this
decking this massacre.
You seen this one? The
Have you
Mess
seen this one?
Minor League.
I pulled it
know
up.
if
I
I've
got
seen
it
this
up
one.
already.
Show Pierce. I've seen it already.
So,
tilt that
dude,
little-
this
give me a
guy,
little-
I've
give me a little
never seen somebody get hit so hard by a fist in baseball.
Oh, I was gonna say because that last kid caught not
no,
hit
watch
soft.
this. Just watch. Wait till you see how hard he clocks this dude.
Oh boy.
He's down the line.
Oh, yeah.
Pitcher definitely said something. Clean clock. Just done.
Yeah, everyone's swinging now.
That pitcher didn't do a
Then
thing
you have
after
those
that.
guys who are just ready for it, and they're just like, I'm on the bench. I've been on the bench all day. I'm hitting someone. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's my team. Oh, I accidentally hit my teammate. Fuck, sorry, bro, but I'm hitting the next guy.
He's like, what do they call him? What do they call him in hockey? The guys that like are literally just there to fight and like.
Hockey's a different fucking breed.
That's what those
But it's
people
so
are.
like respected. It's
Yeah,
like
they
they're
police
just respectful
themselves.
about it. They beat the shit out of each other. Like, all right, good fight. Like,
Yeah. I
see
just
you
just
later.
lost 2
Talk
teeth.
your shit.
That's
Yeah,
it.
all right.
Yeah.
Like it's like that's just you hit me hard. And then they're like sarcastic about it. Like start like grabbing their face masks and everything, or like pushing them to the ground. Like people get hit. Don't get me wrong, they get pissed, but it's like they just solve it right there, and then they kind of just go to their little penalty box and sit there for it. And they're like, man, maybe I should stay in the game and not do that again. But,
Yeah, that's a whole nother fucking animal, that sport.
what they do, their hand-eye coordination, and I'm not
Dude,
I'm not a
on
figure
skates?
skater over here.
On
That's what I'm
skates.
saying. I am no skater over here. So
I'll stick to broom ball at Cortland. Right, Jordan?
What's
It's a
broom?
shit.
What's
broom ball?
ball?
Broom ball is you play hockey in sneakers with a broom and a ball.
That's a Cortland thing?
It's a Cortland thing, and everybody's hammered, whether you're watching or not,
everyone's hammered.
and it's a great time. I played like once, and then I just would go to watch because like it was so entertaining to watch. Because it was fun. It was awesome.
You just get drunk with a broom?
And you're playing hockey with a broom and a ball.
It's like
No.
Quidditch.
No.
Is that what it's called?
Because you're not
Quidditch?
flying on a fucking
Quidditch?
stick. You're-
Quidditch? What's
'cause
it
it's
called?
It's like Harry
'Cause I'm
Potter,
pretty sure
except
people,
without
like-
the flying and the,
Pretty sure
the
people
wizard
like
part of
fucking
it.
hit people.
They're not. I would hope they're not flying.
I bet you I can
That'd be
look
a
up
little
broom
dangerous.
ball Cortland.
Quidditch is just going to pull up right now. Harry Potter clips.
First thing that comes up for students, broom ball offers intramural glory.
Intramural.
It's great. I mean, I can
glory.
tell. Yeah, you
It's
experienced that.
I mean, I didn't win anything, but you know, I won volleyball when I was there.
It's the thought that counts. I won volleyball when I was.
Like you're in like pads and stuff. Like I'm pretty sure you can hit.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty intense.
If we're pulling up hitting videos,
I think we're going to the same
We
place.
just-
do you remember high school? I don't think they do.
Oh, this is a different one.
I don't think they do pep rallies at our high school anymore. Did you have pep rallies? Because
They must have brought it back
Someone
for
knocked
Alyssa.
someone out for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 He's like someone got
It's
hit
on
hard.
YouTube. It's on YouTube.
Really?
They did like you put on big sumo suits. So for like homecoming,
I remember. I did that shit once. It was fantastic.
So they would split you up in all 4 of the grades. And
He's got-
Paul's
he's
gonna
got-
pull it up.
yeah.
Let me explain
He's
first,
gotta
and then
get a
we're
kick
gonna
out
watch.
of it.
So a person from each grade would represent. Don't play it yet, Paul. And the person that was representing their grade, they would gear up in a sumo suit. And each grade was in each section of the gym. So the 4 corners, the freshmen, the sophomores, the juniors, the seniors. You'd have your representative. They'd sumo up, and you'd fucking fight each other in front of the whole school.
just
And
throwing
then,
hands.
And then winners would move on, and you go through. So Paul was the senior class. They had their representative, who was like a offensive lineman in football, and he was playing like the sophomore, who was like some
I
little
think it was
dude.
the teacher because there's teachers in
Beat
this
the
one.
shit out
Or
of
it
teacher. What
was
are we
a-
talking? What do you
No,
mean?
It
that's
was,
I was like-
that's
freshman and
Paul.
sophomore.
That's misinformation,
No,
Paul.
I know who it was.
That
I
it was
remember
a
who it
sophomore.
was, and I don't-
That is
I know who it was.
fake news.
I
Come
remember
on.
watching teachers go into the sumo
Pierce, we
suit.
said one thing tonight: no misinformation.
Oh, yes, yeah, no
Come on,
information.
Paul.
Come on.
But then the senior offensive
Misinforming
lineman
us.
just bodied the sophomore, and he was okay. But then the whole student body charged the senior and tackled him, and the fucking kid like smashed his head on the floor. Paul, do you have the video?
I have the video and I can see. I know.
Jordy,
Who,
you
I
wanna
All
know.
I
see it?
see is kids rushing
who
so
number-
far.
I know who number-
I've seen
show
someone
Pierce and
falling
Jordy.
and someone rushing.
I know who number 28
Where was this?
was.
Was
on.
this at Chatham?
This is
Yeah.
at Chatham. CHS
And it's
sumo
still
wrestling.
you're not
pep
taken
rally.
down for
Not
violence.
taken down yet. No.
So he just knocks
He
him out.
barely did.
One. Oh, dude. And if you were watching,
Slow-mo.
if I can,
Were they
slow-
actually like beating it?
No, they just dogpiled him.
Look at his head though. Hit the floor.
Yeah, bring that back. Bring that. Yeah,
You can't slow
bring
mo it.
The quality of a 2008 video.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
2007.
Oh
This is
my
2007.
God. It's still up
2007,
there,
even
though.
worse.
So
Did you slow it
ready?
down?
This is him right here. Watch his head. His head's right there.
Oh.
Oh, what?
That's tough.
Would you search?
Our star quarterback was the one that tackled him.
Oh, would you search? Would you search to find that?
I searched Chatham Pep Rally, and that was it.
Chatham Pep Rally.
Don't
Gone
lie.
wrong.
It was Chatham Pep Rally, and then it's
After
under
hours.
CHS Sumo Wrestling Pep Rally 10/12/07. If you want to look,
07 that got
If I wanna
uploaded.
look,
How
I
many
ju- I
views?
just
How
saw
many
it.
views?
it's got about 3,500. 3,500 views.
Well,
Well,
3,501.
definitely all from Chatham. Well, I saw who posted it. I was like, oh,
You know the person. Don't say their name.
I don't.
but-
I know the person, but I mean, I don't know them well, but I know who they are.
Jeez, man.
It's Chatham. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was a good time.
Rest in peace, Chatham Pep Rallies, man. You know what was the most fucked up thing we did in high school in terms of school events? This is terrible. Donkey basketball.
That was the best.
Oh no! These poor fucking animals.
Donkey
No.
basketball.
I missed donkey basketball. It was so funny to watch people fall
I'm kind of
off.
scared to even ask how that even worked.
It was hilarious because
You
people would
rode a
fall
donkey?
off. You rode a
Yes.
donkey and,
And you
played
played basketball?
Yes.
Why was it the donkey back kick someone in the
They got
throat?
fucked up.
You're way too excited about it, right? They got fucked up.
You tell why I like football?
But like that's.
They all start with donkey basketball.
I feel so bad for the donkeys.
But
That's
do you?
sad.
They're out there running
You got
around.
like that 300-pound
No,
person,
I
and
do.
the donkey's just screaming, saying,
What's
"Get
up
off
there?
me!"
That donkey doesn't want somebody to be on their back
No.
shooting basketballs.
No.
No way.
If I'm a donkey, no, get the fuck off me.
Well, you know, I thought it was great.
I mean, I probably would have liked it back in the day. I mean,
You definitely would have.
watching it. I don't know if I would have wanted to
never
been on
rode
the
it. I
donkey.
don't.
Get the fuck out of here. What are you, fucking crazy? This guy's insane.
What?
You didn't.
Did anybody in
Hell
here
no, I
play?
didn't
Did you ever play donkey
Sam,
basketball?
you played?
You did not.
Yeah.
Was
How
it
much fun
weird?
did you have?
Well, I got the
Here,
donkey.
Sam, come here.
Yeah, come on,
Here,
Step
jump
in,
on
step
me.
in, step into the
So,
light.
what'd you do?
And we're live.
No, I got the donkey. So they like specifically pick out donkeys for the individual. So I got a donkey that didn't move.
Oh, I do. I remember
So
that.
like
Come
I
on.
kept like getting off the donkey to get the basketball because it would just like sit itself under
Well, that's
the
cheating.
net.
It's against the rules.
No, you could.
You could get off
had
the
to
donkey.
Get back
Oh,
on the
okay.
donkey and shoot from there. But
So picture
then-
Sam
they
being
would
Donkey
give-
setting the screen.
But then they would
Pick and
give,
roll.
Like the,
Pick and roll.
they
Kicking
would
the kid.
give like the athletic guy who was good at basketball, the like rowdy donkey that would be like bucking him off.
How did you choose?
No, they gave you. a
Oh,
donkey.
just a sign?
They
Like,
assigned
no, you
you
get
a
the
Does the
shit.
donkeys have
You get the
names?
shit donkey.
I don't remember. Probably.
My donkey's juiced.
Ugh, it's terrible.
Wow.
I mean, I get why Mike feels bad about it, but I thought it was very entertaining. I did not ever ride a fucking donkey though.
Am I right? Not shit.
You want to know why? Because I was more afraid of the fact like if I did fall off, I was gonna catch a hoof to the face.
Well, yeah.
What do
That's
you
all
think?
I associate donkey with is back kick.
Somebody
Just-
definitely did it before. Got kicked by one of those donkeys.
No, the reason it ended was because the animal cruelty. part.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, that's
100%.
That's
a
fair.
very
Fuck
easy,
yeah.
But we can
easy
still
assumptions.
but we
like,
can still
oh,
go to
wow,
the
people
Saratoga
play
racetrack.
basketball and-
You had
Yeah,
to
but that's
say
different. These are
you
poor
couldn't,
donkeys.
like,
What?
sue
Wait.
them.
How's that different than the Saratoga
I don't know. They're
racetrack? Pretty
breeding
fun.
these. I don't know
Respect,
shit
bro.
about horses. I don't know.
God bless those horses,
But-
but if they win,
If they're
money,
not
let's
good,
go.
they die.
Imagine Pierce. Imagine DraftKings on donkey basketball.
No.
There goes your Friday.
One eye. Go on. Just no. You damn donkey. Didn't perform. Yeah, you got the stats of it, trying to get some sort of game plan for him.
Something. Oh, that's funny.
DraftKings.
Fucking DraftKings.
I don't.
I blame Dan. No, I don't blame Dan.
No, you
I feel
can't do it.
No.
No, we both were on the same. If anything, I probably corrupted him. Even
Yeah,
more.
that's I was gonna say.
But
I
yeah.
almost invited you to the casino last weekend because I knew you wouldn't say no. Because as soon as I say casino,
I'm not even gambling.
You're not, but it's a good time.
I'm a smart gambler.
Now there's other
It's,
people in this gym.
of course, it's a good time. You sit at the table and they give you free drinks. It's like I don't even have to win anything. Hey, I'm winning right now. Put $20 on there, and I'll just sit there for 20 minutes, get my free alcohol. But
It's a good time. DraftKings
sports
is fun.
DraftKings is fun.
I will say.
But then Dan's got like a 20-leg parlay with
Yeah.
baseball. I'm like, dude, get out of my face with that. I'm like, I can't throw that with you.
Yeah,
I
but
can't do it. God
I will
bless
say
him.
betting like with DraftKings, like I haven't done it much with it with baseball recently, but like to start the season, I was way more interested because I had bets going on.
College hoops and
And I
footballs, man. I
always-
can't do anything
I
else. I
always
can't
bet
bet
on
on
the Yankees to
baseball.
lose
To lose?
because they suck.
That's kind of fun. You're a Yankees fan, aren't you?
Yeah, but
That's kind of fucked up, bro.
we have a $300 million pitcher that sucks.
Yeah, don't even get me started on that guy. And I'm not even being like the classic Yankee fan. It's just like he's just really upsetting me how he carries himself.
Yes.
Like he's just whining and complaining about what 4 second difference.
4
between-
minutes, 4
4 minutes, whatever. okay, go out there and throw the damn ball and strike people out. Like
throw
4
100.
minutes is really throwing you off.
He
Like,
obviously didn't grow up with sumo suits and donkey basketball.
No,
I mean,
yeah, that's just cutthroat shit. That's just fucking put hair in your nuts, just fucking hair in your chest. It's like, you ever ridden a donkey and played basketball? We are well
Shut up
ahead of
over
our,
there.
yeah, why don't you shut up over there, Bobby. Garrett. Sorry, Garrett, I love you. Please don't look at this. Hopefully you do. That would be pretty cool.
Garrett Cole.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really love him, but, if he looks at this, it'd be pretty cool.
He just complains.
I said to somebody today, I was like, if he just owned his mistakes, I would be willing to, I still want him to do well because he's a $300 million pitcher, but, like, I'd be more willing to forgive and forget. He could go out and throw 5 gems in a row, and I'll still be like, you sucked to start the season because your attitude sucks.
Honestly, I think the Yankees need that whole facial hair thing, too.
Oh, for sure.
to be able to have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Well,
looks
I heard
so
of,
much more
I
intimidating.
heard of there's a high school coach around here, and the kids told me they have like that same rule: no jewelry, no facial hair,
was
no
at
backward
Siena.
hats at
That was
school.
Siena.
Just that's.
I
I don't
would've
like
quit.
that. It's too fucking old
We had
school.
to run if we had facial hair.
Please.
I would have quit.
'Cause you can't wear a chain and grow a little
Yeah,
mustache. Like
It's just like you're being yourself. Like that's how people flourish too, and like thrive. Like they, obviously, there's a fine line between being a cocky bastard and being a shithead out there. But it's like, this is who you are. Like exhibit it and like show that emotion.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
like I don't think Stroman's the best pitcher, but like obviously he's in the league, and he's just a guy I think of immediately because like. Pitches with emotion. He pitches with like who he is. Like he doesn't hide from it. Trevor Bauer, same. Like I get it. Like he's a little. Honestly, he rubs off as a shithead and stuff. But like, it goes to like any publicity is good publicity. Like it's like if he's making like people are talking about it, maybe they say, oh, Trevor Bauer is like, carrying himself this way, or like
But he
he's
had-
doing the sword, like and everything.
he's getting
you got
whirly.
Juan Soto grabbing his nuts, like just taking a pitch, and it's just like.
Dancing after he
Yeah,
takes a pitch.
people
it's
probably
fantastic.
pissed off about it, but
I love
what's
it.
happening at the end of the day? People are talking about it, and
Yeah.
people are talking about baseball, and it's like it's good for
I
baseball.
love Juan
It's like,
Soto.
I get it.
When he dances after he takes a pitch, I think
If
it's
I
the
was a
funniest thing
pitcher-
ever. And then he hits a nuke off you right afterwards, and you're just like,
Two seam to the ear hole. That's when the catcher just gives you the middle finger sign. It's just like we know exactly what's happening. Which, I mean, I guess that's what he does well at it. Like it's
Yeah.
his thing. And I mean, Juan Soto, don't hate me for it either. But
Come to the Yankees.
it's just, swing the bat. We have a pretty short porch in right field. He'll hit a lot. But yeah, it's just I don't know.
Well, and the first person I thought about when they said the chain thing the other day, I was like, dude, Jock Peterson was wearing fucking pearls,
yeah,
hitting bombs in the
Yeah,
playoffs.
Peterson.
Like, let them be themselves.
get
Like
it.
it's just like I never liked the facial hair thing with the Yankees. Although I do like the fact that they have it because then it makes Nestor Cortez look like Mario. So,
Hey, he dealt.
He's the
and we
man.
still fucking lost the Orioles.
yeah, he had 12 Ks. But I said the Yankees are royally screwing up with the marketing though. Every time he has a strikeout, remember playing like Super Mario and like either the star sound when you get the star,
Oh, yeah.
or when you get the mushroom and you grow. Like that should be the sound that's played whenever he has a strikeout, and then when he gives the home run, like the sound when you die. That's what should be played. It's genius marketing. New York Yankees. Follow off Exit at 10 podcast and take this with you
Take it with you.
because this is great marketing for Nestor. Nasty Nestor.
it is.
But
I gotta pee.
you got to pee.
I got pissed so
Let's
bad.
take
I
a
don't
pee.
want to be that
Can we,
guy.
I gotta pee, man.
I got
Pee breaks.
pissed.
Let's do it. Let's pee.
Did you pee?
I'm back.
I'm back.
Peed. Pierce,
What's that?
Did
you
you pee?
peed?
Bad day to be a toilet bowl. Yeah, let that shit rip.
We're back.
Yeah, I mean,
We're back. You know what's cool though is that I talked with Pat Suarez on an earlier podcast about him kind of sending me this ebook to start the podcast. But we were lifting Pierce probably in October when I had the random thought of
oh yeah.
Pierce was like finishing
I think
set
it
of
was-
squats, and I was
I
like,
think it was new. No one in here.
no one in here is me and Pierce. And I was like,
music.
hey, Pierce.
What you think about podcasts?
Pierce was like, fuck yeah, let's do it.
It doesn't sound bad to me. And then what is it, like a week ago? I was like, what about CDS mic'd up? Remember Mike?
Oh,
Mike.
That would be
That's tough.
dangerous, though.
Obviously, it's
That
tough.
could be
You need to,
dangerous.
record or this and that. But like, I'm just thinking about what the shit that we talk about, or just to myself. Sometimes I'm just in mid set. I'm just like, I don't have an example right now, but just like thoughts. That
I don't
come
need to
my
mic up
mind.
anybody else. I could just mic up Pierce, and I would be okay.
But seriously, like it's just like anything that comes to my mind. I have a filter going wrong, but especially when I'm working out, I'm just like, either I'm humming or something, and I'm like saying like, Or like it's a Bulgarian split squats. I'm like, this shit fucking sucks. It's like,
Cursing me out.
Yeah. I'm like, Paul, what'd you put in my program, dude? It's like, or you're just like, are you doing that the right way? I'm like, probably not. But I'm gonna lift the shit out of this. It's classic me.
The best with us, it'd be like, you know, half like really detailed, serious coaching, or half just like complete nonsense conversation.
People would be like, "Is this a fucking gym? Where are we?"
This just could go anywhere. That's why it's so cool. Like mic'd up, guys, keep track of that shit. It's like because you don't realize at the time, but then you go back and you look at it, you're like, wow, my mind went this way.
I would probably laugh hysterically.
Oh, that's why it's funny.
I think we'll have to do it. You said you want those little mics that like go to your shirt and then like a mic pack that just
Check,
records
1, 2,
like
1,
this.
2, 1, 3, 1, 2,
Yeah,
2.
that's what you would do, man. This summer.
We could definitely, especially with like
Brunch squad.
college, like Dutchman kids. Like
Brunch
think about some of the
squad,
Dutchman
sauna
guys we got
squad.
coming back.
Yeah.
Like some of those guys, if we were mic'd up with rowdy.
Bullpen. Throw a pitch there. Like, fuck. I'm fucking trash.
Man, dude, the bullpens in here sometimes with those college kids are intense. It's
Yeah, it's
gotta
awesome.
be.
It gets me fired. Like, and then they get Dan
Practice like you
fired up.
play.
Then they get Dan fired up. Dan like shotguns a bang, does 2 warm-up pitches, and goes on the mound and tries to throw 90.
He'll throw like 90.
And he
too.
will throw like
It's not
90.
like he doesn't. He just let that shit rip.
And then his elbow's falling off for the next fucking 3
We
months.
played catch the other day. I was like, Dan, can you slow it down, please?
You're like, my hand hurts a
Me
little
too.
bit.
I like to do the thing where I just stand to the side and like
Then he
stick
throws
the
it knee
glove out.
high, which is where you're supposed to locate. But I'm like, dude, I can't see it out. It's sunny outside. He's got his glasses on. I don't have mine. I'm like, I'm using his glove. That shit's popping. I'm like, I'm gonna take my ankle out. I'm gonna be crying like a little girl with my shins bleeding.
This is
It's
why I don't go outside to do catch.
Yeah, I'd rather do the nutcracker drill.
Well, I don't know. You've been suiting up with some catcher's gear. I saw a couple times.
Yeah, well, he's got catcher's gear on.
Yeah, it's different.
Okay.
And
Still
well,
sucks.
yeah,
No,
it,
it's still
it still
terrifying.
sucks, especially when you turn into the pitch like you're taking an 8 HBP
HBP.
hit by pitch over there. And Mike's like, "Oh, curveball."
Nice. Second. And Mike's taking a beating tonight.
Oh, shoot.
I saw that video. It was hilarious.
What, of me trying to catch?
Of you,
Sticking
of
the
you,
curveball.
literally turning your body like a pitch is coming at you when you're supposed to catch it because you're the catcher.
Who's throwing Garrison?
Yes,
Yeah.
nasty
He
curveball.
doesn't throw slow.
No,
No.
And he's got a disgusting curve.
It's
It was a
not like you
curveball,
got a 15
right?
year old up there. It's like
It was a curveball that he threw to you, right?
Yeah.
slider.
Yeah,
Yeah, curveball.
Mike
And-
was catching fastballs, and he was telling me, he's like, yeah, he throws fucking hard, and I was ready for the off speed. Then he threw me a curveball, and he said, "Fuck that, throw me the fastball."
Yeah, just broke late. I didn't know what to do. I like moved out of the way.
Panicked. I didn't know what to do.
He had like slam me in my like kidney and
Pissed blood, and I was pissed the rest of the day. Never
He
suited
did
up
have a
again.
gnarly bruise.
I'm sure he did. I mean, baseball's not the softest thing
Nope.
that we ever used. But
no, I'd rather catch him than play fucking donkey basketball or fucking nutcracker drill or
no,
I'll do the nutcracker.
I'm
Joe.
sure you will. I mean, you're
that's for sure.
Notepad.
thriving
But
back
Mike,
in the day.
mic'd up in here would also be a lot of fucking hip hop talk,
Lots.
right?
For sure.
That's
I mean, it's all we
like-
do is play music and
Very
lift weights.
Very
and-
wide variety of hip hop talk.
Yeah, like that's your music, right, Pierce?
I mean, yeah, hip hop, rap. Like, I mean, I love all music. Like,
Yeah.
Only thing I always joke about with some of my friends is just like country in the winter. Can't do it. I can listen to country in summer. It's nice out. Like, it's like the vibe. Like, I get it. Like, I don't hate country music, but like when I'm looking outside, it's 20 degrees and it's snowing. I'm not listening to like none of that shit. None of that shit. Count me out.
I am 100% with you. I rarely ever. The only time country ever pops into my ears during the winter is if my roommate plays it because he loves country, or if
Winter's
Dan
just-
Jones plays it on fucking
You got the
Pandora.
windows down. You're by like a lake or something. Quick, bump that shit.
Yeah,
I
I'll
love
bump it.
country. I love country.
Give
I've
me a
been to
couple
country
beers.
concerts, like, but like rap and hip hop. Like,
Yeah.
Lil Baby's my guy. Like,
Okay.
He's kind of on the. I mean, he's newer, I guess, but like Lil Baby, and we have OGs and stuff like that. I mean, no one's gonna shit on Drake because I feel like.
Well, Drake is like.
Joyner Lucas. That's our
Oh,
guy right
yeah,
there.
Joyner Lucas is.
Especially when we're lifting.
Me
like,
and
come
you
on.
listen to Joyner Lucas a lot, but I feel like you came up like when we talked to some of the kids, and especially like the younger kids. Like, I feel like Mike and I got to experience such a good time of hip hop because we got the like end of Jay-Z's prime. We got prime Lil Wayne, like mixtape Wheezy, which kids don't even know what that is now, and that's like he's the god.
Datpiff.com.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And then we got Drake and Kendrick and Cole and like all of them, and like now we have all of like Lil everybody, but Lil Baby is good. But like now you got like everybody,
Lil everyone.
everybody that sounds the same almost to me. And then you have a few guys here and there that sound really good. Like Joyner Lucas is a newer guy that it stands out because he doesn't do auto-tune all the time. He's not like trying to sound like anybody else, but you brought up Little Baby, and like he's the one to me that like stands out amongst like the rest.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm just like a crazy Little Baby fan. Just like obviously this is what the time period is too. But like, I will never forget bringing your coaster with you. Like of course J. Cole, Kendrick, like you got all those guys. Like I'm a big Kendrick guy.
I know.
Cartoons.
Like
and
what
cereal.
was like the first rap album I ever had was Get Rich or Die Trying. What was yours?
First rap album? That's a tough one. That's actually really tough. I gotta think
All
about
right,
it.
first
Like,
rap
full
album that I bought or that
No, that it was in your possession.
in my possession probably would have been either Ludacris, Word of Mouth, or Sensitive Topic, Big Willie style. Will Smith.
Sensitive topic
I
right
would say
now.
Lil Wayne was probably like
Your first.
But Word of Mouth was the first, like, I remember that was like the first like unedited CD, and
Yeah.
like, do you remember how that one started?
No.
I don't know if I should say this one on the way it
No,
starts.
we
I
won't.
won't
Just
say
don't
it,
play it, people.
but it's
probably doesn't start the best.
When you're 12 years old and that's what you hear, you're like, all right, here we fucking go.
right, can't wait.
But like I remember like that was my first exposure to rap music, and once I heard it, I was like, "Fuck, this is like." I'm like some fucking little white 12-year-old from Chatham, New York, right?
The back of mom's car with earbuds and just window down.
And my friend named Pudge, they called him. And he had an
Shout
older,
out Pudge.
He had an older brother. They called him Pudge.
That's three strikes you're out, bro.
I can't help
You are beating the shit out of that mic.
Yo,
Not
you try to
Nutcracker
punch
over there.
on the podcast. I'm done. I'm over.
Pudge had an older brother named Ian, and he burned the fucking shit ton of CDs.
Pudge
And-
Rodriguez?
No, that's where it came from. Kind of.
Kind of.
But he burned me a bunch of CDs, and that was the first one I listened to, and I was like, oh, it's
That's the
fucking
last fucking
different.
name I expected to hear.
Pudge.
Nobody expected to talk about Pudge? No.
Living legend. I don't even know him, but shout out Pudge.
Shout out Pudge, get me into hip hop music. 'Cause it's a big part of
Burning
me.
CDs.
That was
But-
great. TJ got me into. He's the one that burned me Ludacris, Word of Mouth.
Yeah,
Shout
but
out
it was
TJ.
always in our era. It was a friend burned you a CD.
And then there was LimeWire.
Yeah,
And
Mine was datpiff.com. I don't know why it was online.
you
easy,
missed
MP3s,
LimeWire.
just-
LimeWire was dangerous because you download a song and then all of a sudden be like, your computer is fucked. And
You have
go-
27 viruses. Good luck.
You'd
You have
go,
5 seconds
I didn't
to
do
delete 'em.
anything. You'd try to close everything out. You'd shut the computer off, or like nothing happened. And your mom would go on the computer afterwards and be like, what the fuck is wrong with the computer? I'd be
Yeah,
like,
back
I don't
in the
know.
day, those
I didn't
computers
do
were
it.
just like-
Pudge did it. I don't know.
Those computers were just jet engines. Took just
Oh, yeah.
big box of a
You have to
computer,
fucking
like
do. You
500
have to
pounds.
do dial up
Yeah.
before you even got on LimeWire.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
like-
dude, that was the worst. You couldn't make phone calls because you were on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God
Imagine
bless
that.
you guys. I don't know if I really
No, you-
had the
you just
experience
missed-
that.
you
I
just
just
missed
missed
that.
I think
Yeah.
I'm on the cuff of that, but
Dial-up internet. Remember, he'd be like, "Mom, can I go on the internet?" No, I gotta make a
Dial-up
phone call.
internet. No.
Fuck.
Son of-
That's wild to think about, man. It's not that far off.
That's why I'm
AIM.
thinking 30 years from
That's-
now, what the hell are we gonna
That's
have?
why we can wrap up on this. That's why we're headed to the fucking metaverse,
Yeah.
Pierce.
Oh God,
I won't be in it.
dangerous.
I'll stay here with Paul.
I'll be.
We'll
And
be here,
Pudge.
there
And
we'll be
Pudge.
here lifting some weights. Yeah, boy, talking about Pudge. He's still burning CDs, sweating CDs out. And the next thing you know, you got kids with glasses that they're in their own little avatar, making, punching kids, playing
I can't-
basketball
can't
donkey
believe
or
this
whatever.
went
It's like,
Sweat there.
I'm riding a donkey on a basketball in the metaverse. It's a new thing.
Is that animal cruelty if you're doing donkey basketball in the metaverse?
No.
They're
In the
not
metaverse,
donkeys.
right?
That's how you bring
Real
it back.
person in person. It's like they herded up the donkeys, they specifically assigned one out, and now you're riding them playing basketball. It's like, what happened to just running with your feet? What happened to playing the sport of basketball without a donkey? Why is it a donkey? What else could it be?
I mean,
Imagine a whole huge horse, just a large horse, like
I'm sure they do that.
potbelly pig. Like, what do you mean? Goat? Llama? I mean,
There's a lot of. It's Chatham. There's a lot of things that you can do.
I'm sure.
I don't know.
And when you bring up llamas, there was a llama farm across the street from my mom's.
Fucking Chatham.
Out there in the real world.
I remember when that happened, and I was like, "Mom, there's
What the
fucking
fuck is that?
there's fucking llamas now across the street. Who the fuck owns the farm?"
It's your local squirrel. It's your natural squirrel.
Because they
now.
weren't always there, and then all of a sudden I look across the street and there's fucking llamas running. Like, you know how they run? They fucking like. I'm like,
Run, prance.
like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah. But yeah, wrapping up with the metaverse. Just
Metaverse and llamas.
I haven't even looked far into that stuff, but
I don't know, man.
it's not like it's far fetched.
No.
Who people probably thought iPhones were far fetched or not even thought about, and here we are. What was the last one that came out in 12, 13?
13.
What are we at? 13.
13.
Face
Yeah, man.
recognition. Crazy. It's crazy stuff.
It's
But-
crazy, man.
Elon
It was
Musk
a
can turn off
pleasure.
cars with a switch.
Oh, he's gonna put a chip in your skull.
Well, that too. But that's why I
Yeah,
won't
we
buy a
got the
Tesla, man. You can just
chip
turn it
in our
off.
skull over here. That's what you think's next.
I think
Yeah.
you go glasses and then you go chip in your skull. The scary part with chip in your skull is what if you're going for a job and somebody else has a chip in their skull so they can do things faster than you, so they don't hire you and
That's-
they hire them,
Getting into the nitty piggy. That's
fucked.
yeah. Good luck.
right?
Makes
Good
things
fucking
very
luck.
competitive. Makes things very competitive.
It's
but-
fucking
Sorry,
crazy.
that
but
chip isn't going to make me any fucking stronger.
it could make you better at donkey basketball, though, Paul.
Could make me better at donkey basketball.
It could. Think about that.
I will. I
You
will.
could.
I will
Maybe-
tonight when I'm thinking about my future goals in
You,
life.
you sleep on that one.
You sleep
take
on
a
that,
step
Paul.
back and you think about it. But
I'll also
hey,
think about
pleasure
how I
thank you for
drop-kick
having me.
this
It's been a
fucking
pleasure. I
microphone.
mean, for sure. I
No,
mean,
it-
it's like shooting the shit. I get it. I mean, we've known each other for very long, but obviously Paul a little less longer.
a little
but
less, but
I don't
spend some
think we
quality
wasted
time
any
together.
time for sure.
This,
So,
this is
pleasure
a blast,
having-
man.
Yeah,
we,
for sure.
we said a lot of things. Thank you, Pierce. We'll do this
No
again
problem.
for sure.
No problem, for
Um,
sure. Blast. I had a fun time.
Hey.
Happy Friday, right?
Happy
Weekend's
Friday.
ahead of us. I'm on break. It's my last couple days of break. Back into the real world on Monday. So
Good
That's
luck.
it.
here we are. That's a wrap.
That's a wrap. Thank you, everybody.
Off
See you
exit
next
10.
time.
Dude, I lost it when you said Pudge.